Are you ready? 20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
All right, forgive me there for a moment. I had to adjust everything because we will have a guest with us, and I'll have to adjust everything all back. But for the time being, it's myself, Mike Valentine, and my buddy Cheese right here, and you are listening to the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Cheese, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. I was having withdrawals. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. It was a fun week. It was really nice to get away, get off work, and yeah, I noticed you, Sirhan, you almost called him Cheese like 3 or 4 times. I went back and watched this weekend. You got so routine. We'd done it. I think both of us, we'd done it like pretty much almost a year straight without any of us taking a week off. And that was hilarious. But Sirhan, he did great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, you took your week off. I'll be doing this week and next week, and then I'll be taking a couple of weeks off. So, I mean, well deserved. We'll get some great guests in here, and we got a great guest today too. ASU people, if you're out there and you can't wait, give us about 10 minutes, and we will pull Mike along here. We will go over all kinds of stuff. ASU. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. By the way, Cheese, less than 100 days before the kickoff of the college football season. How you feel about that, buddy?
Not only that, I love it. Are you kidding me? I love college football. All I do is watch college football. I watch more college football than just about anyone that doesn't work in the industry, but in the front office.
Sure.
But it's also, yesterday was the halfway point between the Super Bowl and opening Wednesday of the NFL season. So we are 50.1% of the way through the off season in the NFL. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to get closer so we can talk college football. We have the college football segment. We'll bring it back as we get closer, and we'll do our predictions. And hopefully Mike will not pick Penn State to go far this year.
I will not, and I don't think I ever have. So
you picked them pretty far last year, but that's okay. I don't want to tell you who I picked, so.
I remember, but we won't go there, buddy. We won't go there. We're good. All right.
You actually had Duke as your sleeper, and they won the ACC. So I'll give you credit. You did. It was your sleeper, and I made fun of you for it, and then they won the ACC.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. You're allowed to make fun of me. We'll let it go, man. We'll let it go. All right. So today we're going to do not only ASU, we're going to talk about the ABS system. I can't wait to get into that conversation. I think we got a lot of great things to talk about the automatic balls and strike system in MLB. We will get to that. And then we're going to do some football stuff as well. We got to do a running back here in a couple moments that just made some, I don't want to say breaking news because it's been out there for a few hours, but we will talk about it. We'll get to that here in just a few moments as well. So the first thing that we always do here, guys, is we do the 5 Flamin' 5 in 5. And I just realized as I'm talking about it, I did not pull up the image. So give me just a second here, and I will do so as we're talking. So I probably shouldn't even reveal that. I shouldn't tell people how stupid I am and that I haven't actually done anything when I can do it off screen and nobody's really going to see me do it. So I don't know why I have to say things like that all the time. I don't know. I guess I'm just too honest sometimes. But anyway.
You are definitely too honest. There's no doubt about it.
All right, so we got it up here now. We are ready to go, but let me explain it to you. The 5 Flamin' 5 and 5, it goes like this. I give Cheese 5 questions. He has 5 minutes to answer them with the flames closing in all around him. And if they get too close and they don't want it to burn that hair or that nice mustache, and he must have, I'm a little surprised. No tan? No tan where you were at? You were outside a lot over the last week, right? No tan, buddy?
I had a tan. It's kind of faded, but I did use sunblock. I did have a pretty decent tan, but we drove back like 3 or 4 days ago, so it's faded a little bit.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can't have everything. You got all that hair and that mustache and all that. You can't have the tan too. Yeah, whatever all that is right there. Stuff that I can't grow. So anyway, the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5.
You can't grow hair anywhere.
Not when you get this old. It all falls out, sir.
Okay.
So we'll put Cheese in a big thing of flames. We'll ask him 5 questions. If he can get it right, we'll turn the flames off, and if not, we'll just watch him burn. And then we'll bring Michael up, and we'll talk about ASU stuff without Cheese, if that's the way. Okay.
It could happen.
It could happen.
There's a Packer question, so it definitely could happen.
That's true. There are both of those. It could happen, and there is a Packer question. So, yes.
2 Packer questions.
Yeah, 2 Packer questions. One at the first and one at the end. So let's do the first one, all right? So the timer, it's a 5-minute timer. The timer will start when I'm done reading the first question.
Okay.
Here we go. The Arizona Cardinals have received trade offers according to Jordan Schultz. He's a buddy of ours at Schultz_report on X. 12 sacks last year, and he has what Jordan called a special relationship with Jonathan Gannon, who of course is now the Packers defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Cheese, as you already know, the Packers don't have a first-round pick because of the Micah Parsons trade, but would you rather give up your second-round pick for Sweat or all 4 of your 4th-round picks for Sweat? And if you don't know, you're going to get one as your original 4th-round pick. You're going to have one via Dallas because of the trade that was made. You're also going to have one because of losing Malik Willis, and you also lost Romeo Dobbs, so you're going to have 4 4th-round picks. So my question to you is, go ahead.
No, very likely. Yeah, very likely. Unless Malik Willis, I think he has to play every game and make a Pro Bowl. Maybe it could be a 3rd, but very likely Packers will have 4th round.
4 4th-round picks. So if I'm the Cardinals, I'm either wanting your 2nd-round pick or I'm wanting at least 3 of those 4th-round picks. If you say as a Green Bay Packer, nope, I'm not giving up my 2nd round because I don't have a 1st round. So my question to you is, which would you rather do? Give up the 2nd-round pick for Josh Sweat, give up 3 of your 4th-round picks for Josh Sweat, or keep what you got and don't get Josh Sweat? Here we go.
Well, okay, give me a 3rd option. Keep what you got would be my option, just because Mike, I've been watching film, man. Next year's draft is going to be insane. Okay, I don't have much time, so I will talk about that another day.
Okay.
It's not only strong at the top, it's going to be deep. It's going to be insane. And 3 4th rounders as opposed to 2nd rounder for sure. What I think a trade would have to happen, if it does, it would involve a player and probably a 4th and a 5th. Maybe they can convince the Cardinals Lucas Van Ness is worth a shit. He's not. He's terrible. But maybe they can convince him, take Lucas Van Ness and a 4th and 5th rounder. I would take that. Josh Sweat's a better player. He's coming off a really good year. He's obviously a perfect fit for the defense. So they're not giving up a 2nd rounder. And I just think he'll end up somewhere else because I think there's another team that has more draft capital is willing to give it up.
All right. 2nd question, sir. If you wonder why the Jaguars are so bad offensively, most career receiving yards in Jacksonville history, number 5, Allen Robinson with 2,848. Maurice Jones-Drew, 2,873. Mercedes Lewis, 4,502. Keenan McCarroll, who's number 2, 6,393. And Jimmy Smith, 12,287. Cheese, that's a terrible list. Why is it so bad?
Jimmy Smith was so good, though. Do you remember?
So they got one guy right.
God, he was so good. But name the best quarterback in Jaguar history.
There isn't one.
Mark Brunell's probably the best. No, but seriously, like that's the thing. First of all, I guess their franchise is 30 years old, but
right.
If Mark Brunell is the best quarterback in your franchise history, that's sad, and that's why. But Jimmy Smith was incredible, but at the time, no one talked about him because he played for the Jaguars, because they weren't very good. They went to a couple AFC title games, but Maurice Jones was a running back. He was very good, but Jimmy Smith, one of the most underrated receivers in NFL history.
65 career sacks, 297 total tackles, 11 forced fumbles, the 2021 Defensive Rookie of the Year, a 3-time first-time Pro Bowler, 5-time Pro Bowl. Micah Parsons has all of those stats, and he turns 27 today, Cheese. Mm-hmm. Which of those things is most impressive?
None of them. I'm going to throw another stat at you. Oh. Last year, 21.1% pressure rate, led the NFL. 21.1% of the time he got a pressure, and that includes dump off screens, all the plays where he has no chance to get a pressure, all the double teams, all the triple teams, which he got the most in the NFL. And since he came in the league, his pressure rate's 19.7%, the most in the NFL. That is the best stat, in my opinion, for Micah Parsons. He is literally elite.
Good job by you. I wish I could give you like a 30-second bonus for that, but I don't know how to do that. So
I'm running out of time. I can't.
Jason Kelsey said Sunday is the NFL, and everyone sets their work week around tuning into those games happening on Sundays. I worry that we're getting away from that just a little bit by building too much of this. And what he meant by this was all the games happening on other days besides Sunday. Do you agree with Jason Kelsey?
Yes, absolutely. It's getting ridiculous. I don't think they should play Thursdays. They don't care about player safety. They say they do, but why play Thursdays? Why play 4 days rest? You know, it's a very physical sport. Why have a Wednesday opening day? Why have some Thanksgiving Eve game? You know, Wednesday after a Sunday? Yeah. You know, and my Packers are playing it. I absolutely agree with Jason Kelsey. I don't always agree with him. In fact, usually I think he's a complete idiot, but I absolutely agree with him. I think, you know, Sunday and Monday used to be when I was a kid. It was Sunday and then one Monday game. They need to go back to that.
All right, we appreciate you calling Kelsey an idiot on our show. So last one here, and then we'll get to the bonus one.
He says some of the dumbest things, but anyway, go
ahead. Okay. If you were the Kansas City Chiefs, would you cut Rashee Rice?
If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm the Chiefs. It's like, is this
you own them? You decide.
Oh, well, I would never have drafted him because he had a lot of character issues. A lot of character red flags coming in the draft. I would never have drafted him, but it's the Chiefs, so of course they did. They don't care about character. I would cut him. I would never have drafted him. I was absolutely cut him at this point, but it's the Chiefs, so of course they won't. They don't care about character more than any team in the NFL, and that's one of the reasons why people don't like the Chiefs. One of many reasons, but he should not be on your team.
Oh, look at that. He gets it right down to the wire. I love it, buddy. For like 3 seconds to go, and he does it. All right. Not that you did that on purpose or anything. That's fine. All right. Let's put it on there. Feel free to comment.
Sometimes it works out.
Sometimes it does. So if you can feel free to comment there on the chat. By all means, as long as you talk about what we're talking about, we'll include you. We'll put your name up there. We'll be getting our ASU buddy Michael on here in just a moment. And then for all of you who are waiting on that and want to talk ASU football, you can certainly do that as well. So now, Cheese, you made it. You did it. Good job, buddy. So we were talking about this off air a little bit. And you said to me, well, I'm glad we're going to talk about this because I don't want to do a video on my channel about it.
Yes.
Because you're the Green Bay Packer fan, we have to still talk about it, though. So I'm going to pull up the arrest report for Josh Jacobs. Tell us who Josh Jacobs is first, sir.
Running back. He went to Alabama. He's one of those, like, it was a feel-good story. You know, he was like a 2-star recruit. Goes to Alabama as the first-round pick of the Raiders. Signed by the Packers a few years ago in free agency, and he's been a terrific running back in the NFL. Definitely a top 10 back in the league.
All right, so here's the press release from the police department that arrested him earlier on May 23rd. So,
Saturday.
oh man, it's hard for me to read that stuff that far away. So, you guys can read it. This is not good, buddy.
Do you want me to read it, Mike?
Sure, if you want to read it, go ahead. I'm old over here, man.
Okay. So May 23rd at approximately 8:37 a.m., Hobart Lawrence Police Department dispatched to a disturbance complaint involving Josh Jacobs. As a result, he was arrested and booked. He was booked today for 5 charges: battery, domestic abuse, criminal damage to property, disorderly conduct, strangulation, suffocation, and also intimidation of a victim. This remains an active and ongoing investigation. No further information will be released at this time.
Okay. So, as a Packers fan, Cheese, what do you think about this, buddy?
Well, it's been years since a Packer player is arrested. They're not the Chiefs, so it's been years, but the reason I don't want to make a video on this, and I don't like this kind of stuff, I didn't make a Rashid Rice video. I rarely do. I didn't even I think I did a Stephon Diggs just because of the timing, but I rarely make videos because we don't know what happened. We don't know the situation. Most of the time, I chose to read it, John. I chose to read it. We were texting earlier about this. That's why I told you to watch the show. I said I'll talk more about it. He's a Cowboy fan. He loves this. He's like loving this. He's hoping he's suspended for the Cowboy game.
Well, reason I don't say a whole lot if he's a Cowboys fan, they get people arrested every other week.
Well, that was part of the text. That was part of the texting. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, we're just spitting out facts here. I mean,
Name one other Packer that's been arrested in the last 5 years. I'll wait. So yeah, Johnny Jolly had that purple drink. Like I don't know. Anyway, that was a decade ago. But getting back to the point. The reason I don't like making videos about this is like Michael Irvin, a Cowboy actually, was falsely accused in the past. Like somebody accused him of something turned out to be a complete lie. Like you're a target. Now, more than likely, most of the time when they're accused, when this happens, when they arrest, they're guilty most of the time. But there is a small amount of time where, like Johnny Depp's a good example, where it's total BS. So I don't like to make videos because I don't like to rush judgment. I want to find out the facts. I want to find out if he ends up taking a plea deal, which usually means you're guilty. We just don't know. I wasn't there. So I don't like making assumptions. But yeah, this is very disappointing if it's true. He's a team leader in the locker room. He's very popular among the fan base. He's one of the best top 3 selling jerseys since he got there, and they don't really have a great backup behind him. So if he is suspended, it's a huge problem because the offense is built around a running game, like running game and play action. That's part of the offense. So this was today was one of those days, and this sucked.
So we have been critical. Let me take this off the screen here for a moment. Now, okay, so wait, before I do, so battery, criminal damage. So he looks like he assaulted a woman and choked her and then damaged some of the property,
allegedly,
maybe in her place or something like that.
Allegedly, yes.
Yes, allegedly. Of course, we got to throw that word out there, but
you have to, just in case.
It's not just 1 or 2 things. He's 5 things here. So you and I have been very critical of other players on this show. Marcelo Zuna. Why is he still playing baseball? I don't understand. There was the Dallas Cowboy guy, since we're talking about them for a moment, remember, who had all the guns on the bed and you threw the woman on top of all the guns that he had and all this stuff. We're very critical about these people. So I don't want to necessarily put you on the spot, but I am going to all at the same time. So I want to ask it to you this way. If we were critical of those people, when do we get to be critical of Josh Jacobs?
Well, we got to find out if it's true first. We got to find out what happened. But if it's true, it's not good, and it's surprising. It really surprised me. Of course, my phone blew up. Got a message from my friend Coop, and his first reaction was, wow, it's been a long time since the Packers arrested. And I'm thinking, okay, hopefully it's a special teamer, guy back into the roster, someone big. Immediately just, went to Google as my phone kept buzzing, and saw it. And he's such a critical part of the team. And like I said, a leader in the locker room. So if this is true, they have to seriously think about his future with the team, like his immediate future with the team. If this is true, especially if he could be suspended anyway. I don't know. It's one thing that helps him is they don't have a real legit backup. I hate to say that. I hate to talk about just besides the incident, the alleged incident, but that helps him that they don't really have a great backup.
Is there anybody out there that they can go get?
Can you think of anyone?
No, I can't, but I'm not the big football guy that you are. I was.
Well, there were people thought that because he had some injuries, missed some time, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Miles Sanders, that's what just popped up. That's not good. Najee Harris would be my preference of that, but he's coming off a torn Achilles. There were people that thought there was a chance they would release Jacobs this year because he did miss some games with injury last year. I knew they wouldn't. I knew it was very slim, but they could have and saved cap room and gone after Travis Etienne, not Etienne. Travis Etienne would have been a perfect fit, perfect player to go after.
Yep.
But they didn't. So they're counting on Jacobs this year. So, we'll see. We'll let it play out. Nothing's going to be, no matter what, they're not going to make a decision anytime soon. So I really hope at least most of it, if not all of it's not true, but most of the time it is true. But sometimes, like I said, Michael Irvin has been falsely accused. Johnny Depp, there's people that have been. So, but paying the money to Michael Parsons, he's one of the best players in the NFL. It's great.
It's true. That's true.
It's smart.
It is a lot of money.
Well, you have to say allegedly. John, Michael Irvin was falsely accused of something big. So, like you have to, in this time, they're targets. Just in case. I'm not saying you didn't do it. I'm just saying you have to, people have been falsely accused before. Most of the time not, but you never know. So you have to wait and find out. We'll gather more information.
We will. It's breaking right the moment. It just happened. He was just arrested today. In fact, he wasn't actually arrested. He turned himself in.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that as well. He didn't, he didn't run. He's not trying to evade or anything like that. He went and turned himself in. So
he denies it. I'll say this. Of course he does. But like Roger Clemens denied taking steroids. But but seriously, but he does deny it. So like I said, let's see what it play out. And when we do learn more, make sure you watch every Tuesday. We will talk about it when we learn more.
We will. All right. So this is going to be fun. Jeez, I can't wait for this. Everything's queued up. I got Michael off stage here for us. We're going to pull up 3 people at the same time. The first college football guest of the year from ASU. Here comes Michael. All right. Now, you notice that I don't want to mess up his name, so I keep just saying Michael, right? I asked him how to say his name off air, and I still can't get it. For those of you who have been watching this show for a while, me and names sometimes don't always get along, so...
Michael, you and words sometimes don't always go.
Hey, calm down, middleman. Michael and I will squish you like a pimple if you don't calm down, okay?
You guys were talking trash about my Cowboys, too, and I met Tom Landry. I'm going to ace myself. I met whatever. You can have your Vince Lombardi, but I got to shake hands and talk to Tom Landry when I was a kid, so I'll take Landry over any coach. But, you're welcome for Micah Parsons because Jerry Jones is an idiot. You don't trade this generation's and I'm not saying he is him because anybody that says when they go GOATs and they say Tom Brady, I'm like, Tom Brady isn't even the best quarterback to ever play the game. But Lawrence Taylor changed the game. And I don't care if you love the Giants, hate the Giants, like LT changed football. Like there are players that changed football. LT changed it. And to me, I mean, I loved watching him, but I hated him because, when he was smashing people on the Cowboys, and I mean, what Lawrence Taylor did for a career was insane. But Micah Parsons is the only linebacker, to your point, Cheese, and you put out all those numbers, Michael. In the first 4 years, he was the only person in a Mr. Taylor's neighborhood. And there's no other defensive end / linebacker that was even in Lawrence Taylor's neighborhood except for Micah Parsons.
Imagine if Taylor didn't do all that cocaine.
Some of his best numbers on the years were when he was on that. So, I mean, look, like in The Water Boy, he made fun of it, which leads me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Oh,
Yes.
There we go. Okay, Michael's done. Off we go. No smoke crack.
Hey, Lawrence Taylor said it. I didn't. I'm just.
Man. Okay, so let me save this show real quick before it goes down the rabbit hole any further here. Michael, you do a great thing called the Pitchfork Lunch. You do it, I believe, Monday through Friday at noon. So tell us, buddy, when can we see the show? Where can fans find it? And why did you start doing it?
Well, nobody's really doing it. I mean, obviously graduating from ASU, being in Tempe, and then just being in Phoenix, covering sports, covering JUCOs, covering high schools, and yes, pseudo covering ASU. But then the more radio-wise, we were always over there and stuff. And then I was like, man, I want to start a show. And then the pandemic hit, and me and my friends started doing another show, and he had ideas, and we're like, let's just put stuff out there because we're all sitting around twiddling our thumbs. And then I kept thinking, I'm like, yeah, I want to do more ASU. And we kept doing it. And I was doing a Pac-12 show, and then the demise of the Pac-12. But even through that, I was like, you know what? I want to do an all ASU show because nobody's really doing it like every sport. And I've managed to pretty much get out to every sport at one time or another, especially throughout the season. So, yeah, that's why I started it. I go from 12 to 1. So Arizona's a mountain time, but technically right now we're the same as Pacific time. So it's easy for people to understand. So like, yes, 3:00 Eastern, noon here in Arizona, noon Pacific, from 12 to 1. So yeah. And then, I was doing it. Well, a lot of people know I keep getting, there's a few newbies every day or not really newbies, but they'll message me. They're like, oh, we found your X account again. Because like I told you guys off air, like I tell everybody on my show, I didn't click on, vote for my party. I'm like, what the hell? Didn't even click on it. I got a few of them, never clicked on it, just dumped them right away.
Yeah, we get like 10 a day.
Yeah, and my account still got hacked, and so Cheese had to rub in. He got his back. I'm proud of him. Guys should have had me on earlier. Then I could have talked to Cheese and been like, get my account back for me.
I'm all over it.
but yeah,
I remember he and I having the conversation. I'm like, you are not going to get that account back, and he's like, oh no, I will get that account back. And I'm like, no, you won. By golly, he got it back, so I'll give him that.
I mean, there's a few people that told me they got, like, it took about a week and a half, but they got theirs back. And like I told you guys off air, I was going back and forth emails, and finally I'm like, dude, I already started this other one, and I'm reaching out to people. I'm like, hey, my account hacked. If you get the stupid message, which I never clicked on, but I know that's one going around. I go, don't obviously just, block and report, right, so they keep knowing. And if, enough people keep blocking and reporting. So, but yeah, my YouTube channel it's just it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005. They can check it out on YouTube. Obviously, they can check it out on the X as well too at Diablo005. My Instagram, Michael.Carrotenuto.5. And then yes, hopefully he's still working it out. Well, he's been working it out, but he's had issues because I was doing it on internet radio the first 2 seasons too, and that actually helped get a ton of more listeners from all over, which was great. Because everybody loves ASU, of course. So there's
especially the Arizona fans.
Yeah. Demarius Randall. Yeah, the Packers drafted him. That was a Sun Devil who played pretty well for the Packers.
He sucked.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, okay.
He absolutely sucked. Total first round bust.
I'm not going to listen.
He's our guest, for God's sake. Say bad things about him later.
Okay.
No, Demarius. No, he didn't. He didn't suck. He played well for a little bit.
In his defense, he was a safety. They tried to make a corner, and he wasn't a corner. He should have played safety.
No, he was. Yeah, he played.
But he was not a good corner.
He
at all.
played corner. I mean, I've been covering him since he was in JUCOs, covering the JUCOs. He played corner at MCC, and I mean, sometimes he would rotate back, but then they moved him. I mean, they wanted him at ASU. When I saw Todd Graham and Mike Norvell actually added a Mesa game, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. I did an interview with Mike Norvell. I'm like, no, you can't talk about who you're here to see, and we were talking, and I said, yeah, defensively, I go, that kid's a safety. I said, they said that when we were talking, I mean, he already went there and graduated. So, but they said they were talking to him. They said they really wanted him at safety because of the range, like what he showed at corner, how he could cover, but range at safety is like, you can't. And he had quite a few nice picks in his time there. That's why he was pretty highly touted. And then, the Packers tried to move him back to corner because of injuries, as I recall. And you Packers fans got on him, but I'm like, man, you look good at safety.
There was a game against Arizona where he had to go against Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh,
and he got absolutely destroyed. Fitzgerald,
but Larry Fitzgerald's destroyed a lot of people over the
years
too.
It's like when people used to talk about like Patrick Peterson and Julio Jones. Like the first time I think Julio Jones pretty much owned him, and of course they don't play every year. But then when they played again, I think they played. I want to say they played like 2 out of 3 seasons because of where they finished in their division. So for the extra game, that was the matchup. So like the first game, I think Julio Jones just like owned him, and people were like, "Oh, Patrick Peterson." And I mean, owning for Patrick Peterson is, I don't think it was one of Julio Jones' typical unfortunate games where he had like 100 and like, I don't know, like 45 yards, but didn't have a touchdown because of course they just get him the ball all over the field, and then he never got touchdowns because when you have him in fantasy, you're going absolutely crazy, but you're like, I'll take those yards, but God, get me a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald destroyed a few people though, Cheese. I mean, come on.
But there was a game still, I still remember it, and it went to overtime. It went to overtime. Like if he did anything against Fitzgerald, if he could have stopped a few plays, Packers game, and he just couldn't. He could not cover the best receivers, and maybe he shouldn't have been a first round pick. Maybe he should have played safety. But we don't like him in Green Bay. He was not very good. He was not a good corner at all.
Well, I liked him.
All right. Well, hang on now, gentlemen.
MCC, so it's all right. Look, they're Packers fans. They do
all
this.
Right.
They're Packers. I know I'm friends with a lot of Packers fans. They do this, and Hey, but
you got to play better.
Brett Favre had a. You're talking about Josh Jacobs, and it does suck, like you said. I mean, getting arrested, and everybody in this day and age wants to say, "Oh, they got arrested, they're guilty," and I'm like, I still don't. I'm like, well, this sucks, but I'm like, or he turned himself in, like you were saying, and I was looking at it, but like with the Cowboys, I mean, there was definitely issues, but you look at, like you said, the whole of the NFL at times you can. But I will disagree with you on this, Cheese, real quick. Is the Chiefs. Because when Kareem Hunt, they didn't even wait for anything. The first time when when the video surfaced of him like kicking that girl, they cut him right away. They did bye.
Yeah, because it's a video.
Right. It's
because it's on video they did, but otherwise they will not. They'll take chances more than anyone that's been arrested in the past. Tyreek Hill,
no, you were talking about, what was that, Greg? His first name was Greg. The kid, he was from Carolina. You're talking about the guns and the Cowboys. He was with Carolina forever. The charges came up, and then like something happened, and it got dismissed, and then it was happening again, and then the Cowboys took a chance on him, this and that, and then yes, everybody was talking about like when the video came out, because that did come, the call came out. The call, not the video. I should say it right, because she's like, "Oh, he's throwing me on the bed, and there's guns all over the bed, and stuff like that." So, but the Cowboys, of course, gave him a second chance, and it's like, but you can say that in any sport too. If you're that talented, and yes, you've paid some form of, I'm not saying money, but I'm like, whatever, they've gone through it, they settle whatever. If you're that talented, you'll be suspended coming back to the NFL. But you'll still get chances, which, again, I'm with you guys. I'm with you. I don't agree with that. But, he threw that girl on the bed with guns. And I'm like, after everything, and, they're all like, well, everybody deserves it. I mean, the only person, as much as it's sad, when I think of second chances, I say the one person I was like square with, again, not agreeing with what he did, was Michael Vick. He went to jail. He served his time. Like, people like, well, he shouldn't get to play football. Who are you to say that? Like, I don't like what he did. I don't agree with it. But did the guy not go to jail? Did the guy not serve his time? He didn't get out early. And he went back to he got to go back to the NFL. So, I mean, if you go to jail and pay the price, like, people are going to, so every single one of those people, I just used to put up little things because I never try to get in. Only if I was like feeling like, I'm like, all right, I'll be at this for a while. I never try to get in on those like blogs and talks when people are like ripping people, but I would just send like one little short sentence, like, so if this happened to you, you don't deserve a second chance. It's funny how everybody's like, we're not talking to Michael Vick. I was like, no, you didn't answer the question. That's why I never got in on those. But again, I think it's terrible what him and his friends did, but yet he's the only one that went to jail.
He was the famous one, so that's why.
Exactly,
but anyway, before we get off the rails too much here, gentlemen, I know we want to talk about this year's draft. And every time we have a college football segment, we got to do some intro music and we got to change the background so that everybody knows we're talking college football. And today we're doing it with one of the finest from ASU. So here we go. All right, guys. Hey, ASU time. Got the football helmet in the background. Everything's spinning around. It's just like the college football season is. It's spinning around too. Cheese, I know you got some questions about some of the players that were drafted this year in the NFL. Let's start there, buddy. What's your first question for Michael?
So cornerback Keith Abney, he fell all the way to the 5th round, 157th overall. I had a late 2nd round grade on him. I did hear he may fall into the late 3rd round based on the fact he's undersized and he didn't have the best workout. However, I don't know anyone that thought he would fall into the 5th round. I was shocked. Tell me why the Lions got one of the best steals of the entire draft.
Well, I mean, look, everybody says, the workouts, this and that. Do they matter? Sure. But in shorts and T-shirts, I don't understand how people catapult in the draft or, again, maybe go down. Yes, it is a teeny bit important, but if you put on the tape, like, not really under this he had no problem coming and hitting anybody. And if you look back to even the 2024 tape when they went to the when they won the Big 12 and then went to the college football playoff, like, there's times in the season where teams are just trying to pick on him. And like, you see the video and he needed to get a little bigger, but this kid came in, Barrett Honors College kid, and he literally, like, each year, was on the field as a freshman. You see him getting better and working with Coach Carrington, obviously huge as well. But if you watch the film, she's like, that's what cracks me up. And I say it about a lot. Like, there's corners that went before him, and I'm like, okay, I know that. I'm like, I'm like, cool. And then the Lions, do get lucky, I will say, to get him in the 5th round because, like, that's a Dan Campbell kind of DB, man. People say, oh, he does. Yeah. He definitely put on weight, as a DB, you guys know you're not going to put on too much. You're not going to slow yourself down. But you see this, like, from his freshman year till now, like, it's just, it was crazy. So, when the Lions took him in the 5th, I was like, man, I'm watching. I'm like, that is no surprise. And being a homer or not just because he's a friend of the show of Pitchfork Lunch, but he's been on a few times and, we talk about it, but just playing corner and playing in Coach Ward's system and the big interceptions he had. That's why I say when you turn on the tape, you're saying so. Like I said, I'm a homer. I'm like, he should be one of the first 3 DBs off the board. And in the 1st round, there's usually a few that go. I'm like, probably 2nd round, though, probably 2nd day. I'm like, top of the 2nd round, like, it's there. But he makes plays. And you play in playing in Brian Ward's defense. And and he has no problem. He has no problem on the cornerback blitzes either, getting to the quarterback, because you ask a few quarterbacks And yeah, I get it when you're about running full speed, but he had a few sacks from quarterback's blind side and hit some people the last few seasons. So I did not get it. I mean, the plays he makes, and Coach Dillingham. Of course, coaches are going to pound the table for their players, but Coach Dillingham always said, like, you're getting a Barrett Honors College kid. Like, this kid doesn't mess around. I mean, had a 4.0 in high school. Like, is just that guy on the field. And I mean, with the secondary that they had, and even this year, some guys getting banged up, but I mean, he played through a lot, and it's crazy to me because the Lions got him. I know we're not talking about, like, side note, like, in a few picks later, I think it was like 7 or 8 picks later, the Bears took his teammate in Keyshawn Elliott, a linebacker who, again, people say, oh, 5th round, that's not bad. I'm just saying, like, cerebral players, like, you got to have talent. We get that, but the smarter you are. But for Keith Abney, man, there's going to be a lot of times your Packers receivers who it is a talented core when they're all healthy. As much as I hate to say it now that they have Micah Parsons, but those receivers, even the Bears receivers, the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, like they're not gonna like life because he can slide in too and play the nickel, and he's not gonna skip a beat. That's the other thing too, because people can say, oh well, maybe he's not like a true nickel. I mean, he can play in the nickel.
He didn't play nickel. He played outside in college, but he will probably play the nickel in the NFL. And maybe that's why he fell. Maybe teams thought he would only be a nickel in the NFL because of his size. So maybe that's why he fell, but he played outside in college. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, I mean, he could slide there, but I think, with his cover skills, I think he'll be outside, and maybe not right away with him. I mean, I know the Lions got picked on a lot for their, the last 2 seasons, obviously playoff run, like, their secondary. I know defensively, people were saying, they were hurt, this and that. I wouldn't be surprised if he challenged, but yeah, I mean, if he's that. If he's that nickel corner, I could see it. But yeah, I mean, teams spreading, teams obviously a million receivers on the field and no running backs. Like I would be very shocked if he wasn't out there.
All right. So now breathe, Michael, breathe. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone is a huge Keith Abney fan.
I know these are your ASU guys, and you're trying to beat your table for them too. But calm down over there. All right. So now, Cheese, and we got a question from John. We'll get to that here in just a moment, John. I do see your question. We'll get to you here, buddy. Cheese, I know you've got another guy that I think maybe you were even higher on that came out of the ASU field this year. Tell me who that is, and talk to Michael about him as well, sir.
I was high on a lot of ASU guys in this draft. The more I watched and even read about right tackle Max Iheanacho, the more I loved him as a prospect. Like the more and more I watched, he just kept moving up my board, moving up. And eventually I moved him not only in my top 15, but I had him as the best tackle in the entire draft. He is extremely athletic, and he only started playing football in 2021. So he is raw, but also he has tremendous upside. So talk to me about Iheanacho and what the Steelers are getting in him.
Yeah, I mean, Max, like I said, I mean, this guy, junior college, and obviously most universities were not looking at him, but ASU, with the new coaching staff coming in, and I mean, Coach Tuitele, the offensive line coach, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. He was at Army before he came to ASU, been around, and like Coach Dillingham even told me one of the first interviews, like he was reaching out to, offensive line coaches and, whether they, were available or somebody's like, hey, and Coach Tuitele's name, he's like, have you talked to him? And he's like, I mean, once I got it, I was like, I probably should talk to him. But man, he just helped him grow. I mean, yeah, you see the size and the athleticism. And I know people talk about, the Senior Bowl. And I mean, yeah, last year, the first year, like he came in, you just see the athleticism, but like you said, I mean, it was raw, like, in practice, and you see some stuff when they're going live. It's like, oh, that's probably going to be called for a holding, or that might be called. But the way he developed, I mean, the way coach worked with him, and guys, he stayed in one spot. I mean, they kind of move him around. I shouldn't say move everybody around, but like, they might play different spots on the line just to see where somebody's at. But man, Max just locked that in. And, him and Kyle Scott playing next to each other on the right side for a full season, I mean, definitely helped. And then when you have somebody like, Cam Scatterbo, when he was there, like he made a lot of their jobs. Like, I mean, they got their blocks, and I mean, he crushed it. But his athleticism, just when you first see him arrive on campus, you're like, man, like even before you see a practice, you're like, damn, nobody really. But yeah, he just absolutely everything coach worked with, how they work together, the offensive line, just help him grow, the way they work with them. Man, that kid, every time in practice, there were a lot of times I was like, damn, like he's crawling up the board. I'm like, he's crawling up. And then everybody saw how he just destroyed a lot of those guys at the Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl, he was terrific at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, they're showing the workouts, and I'm watching on TV, and I'm just like, and the punk lineman, like, defensive line, it's like, dude, you got owned. Like, okay, yeah, he's, it's over. You're still coming at him. What's he going to do? Just stop blocking so you run him over? No. So, it's just the Steelers and what they got in him. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some work, but from where he started to where, like I said, he grinded, he put in the work. But Coach Tuitele, the way the offensive line works together, the way he coaches, like, man, it's just that the Steelers. I mean, the same thing with but and it wasn't a surprise to me because people were like, oh, it's just some people that didn't watch ASU were like, oh, it's just a Senior Bowl. Well, it's not just a Senior Bowl, but like I said, you watch the tape, and yeah, I mean, everybody's got that point. There's still some rawness. I know post-draft, a lot of guys are saying like, oh, he has to get there, but I mean, it's little corrections. It's not like you're still teaching him how to play
fixable
football.
His weaknesses are fixable.
Yeah,
yes. A lot of things when he makes mistakes, he's still learning the game. They're throwing a lot of things at him. He doesn't understand this yet. That's what I noticed, especially in space. Like he's still trying to learn where everyone is, still trying to learn football. That's when he made a lot of his mistakes. So his weaknesses are fixable.
Oh yeah, and it's right. And like you said, and that's the thing too, that coach got him on, and that coach always talked about too, and I'll talk about it. I know a lot of coaches say, but like, hey, if you're going to make a mistake and you go the wrong way, make it at 100% and crush somebody downfield. If the play breaks down, they cut back the other way. Well, cool. You crush somebody on the backside, or you went out the wrong way, but whatever. Like, and that doesn't happen like with reps, and that's what I'm saying. Like, playing next to Kyle Scott, like I said, I mean, I think that helped him because obviously he played football longer, and then having a guy like early on, even though he's there, like who's on part of the coaching staff now, but working with defensive line, their center Lee Fontanu, who I'm surprised that, I don't know. Again, I get it's tough, it's not easy, but that kid was a hell of a center, but he's back helping out. He's back coaching. And then you had a guy like Ben Coleman, so like calling out, so like sitting in the film room too. Like you said, I think a lot of that stuff became easier and to be fixable because like it's just it's little things, and it's like it's going to come with repetition. But yeah, I mean, you talk about, as much as I might not be able to, because my cousin's a diehard Steelers fan, stand the Steelers. But you talk about a Pittsburgh lineman, like that would be the poster child, because he's not going to let his foot off the gas. And like you said, you make a mistake, but they're just little things. And like they always say, you can't coach height and you can't coach speed. Well, you can't coach that athleticism either.
That's correct. So look, now, Michael, I know that you're used to being all by yourself on a show where you just keep right on talking. But there's two more people on this screen here, so calm down a little bit here. All right. I mean,
a lot of my guests reschedule, and you said you haven't seen someone. They're guests on, man. I just let them go. I love them.
So on the Pitchfork lunch, right? You just keep right on going and everything else, but again, pump on the brakes a little bit here, and let's look at John's question. Cheese, let me start with you. But John's question: what are your thoughts on Scatterbo this year, Cheese?
I was really high in Scatterbo. I really liked him as a prospect. He you don't want him to not be himself, okay? But he's got to be a little less reckless. Still have that whole Scatterbo energy. But just be a little less reckless because he's just going to keep getting hurt. But if he is healthy, he is an absolute stud. Never should have fallen to the fourth round. And I think it's pretty telling that the Giants didn't go after a free agent running back. They didn't draft one. If they did, maybe it was late. Like they're committed to him, and I think that's really telling.
Right. So, all right, Michael. So I'm gonna tell you. Give me like 60 seconds on what you think Cam Scatterboo is gonna. I'm gonna put a clock on you now. Give me like 60 seconds on what you think Scatterboo is gonna do this year, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know he's had good conversations with John Harbaugh. I mean, I think he said one of the first. I mean, he had talked to him, but like their first conversation, they were talking on the phone at like 1:00 in the morning, and just he had called him. Maybe it was like maybe it wasn't 1 a.m., but it was either way. It was kind of late, but. Yeah, I mean, he's looking good. He was actually at the ASU baseball puts on like their celebrity alum softball game every year, and he was actually out at that. But it was pretty funny because he had a runner, a designated runner. So he swung and hit, but he cracked a few. So he got a double. I think he hit a home run too. He had a double. He grounded out and he hit a home run. But yeah, he had somebody standing like right at the plate and ran for him. But he said, I mean, he was on the Rich Eisen show and he said like he'd be ready to go for training camp. Said he's going to be out at OTAs. Obviously, new coach checking things out. But I mean, look, this kid, and I don't know if I'd so much go with reckless. I mean, that highlight, his highlights from last year are insane. But when he pancaked that defensive end. At a lot of ASU coaches like putting that screenshot up because you see this running back just pancake a defensive end. But yeah, I mean, look, if they're able to throw the ball around like that kid, he'll put his head down and he's gonna run over some dudes, run around some dudes. Like it is perfect for the Giants. I told one of my other cousins, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna love Scatterboo, and he's like, dude, this guy got here and from the first day of OTAs last year. Guys, they were like, every single fan was like, oh my God, we love Scatterboo. He's like, just, third team with our holler and hooting going crazy and people just freaking love them. So that's just his personality, but he's going to look, they block for him. They figure out that they keep blocking for him and Jackson Dart, gets protection, throw the ball around. I know I'm, not obviously splitting any atoms there, but it's he's going to have a hell of a season, I think.
All right, so he's not the only ASU person that we had some injury concerns about. And I know Cheese wants to ask you about Tyson as well. So, Cheese, go ahead, buddy. What do you think about Tyson and his injury history? And now that he's with the Saints, how's that all going to work out, bud? Go ahead.
Yeah, Tyson was such a polarizing prospect. There were some mocks that had him go in the top 5. And I think I saw one even that had him going late first round to the 49ers. Like you don't see that kind of range, especially like a week before the draft. Clearly, that had to do with his long injury history. That's why some people had him going in the 20s. The Saints, who drafted him 8th overall, must feel like the medical concerns will not be a long-term issue. What do you know about these injuries? Because he's had a bunch. And what kind of impact do you think Jordan Tyson can make if he stays healthy?
Well, I mean, he was the best receiver in the draft, and I know people think because I
agree.
In general, not stand Ohio State like Ohio State's receiver. No, Ohio State's receiver is good, but look, it comes down if you're going to go every single facet, and yeah, it goes. I know we're going to get to it later, and I'll just leave it short. But like, I mean, Hines Ward coming in there. No, Hines Ward coming in there as a coach. Like Hines Ward made his living jacking DBs up and blocking downfield. Ohio State's receiver can't block like Tyson, can't shove guys around, never saw it all year. And
Tate's a pretty good blocker actually, but
he's not Jordan Tyson. He's not Jordan Tyson when you put it on. And I'll go off.
I've got this shirt on and I don't agree with you, but go ahead.
Oh, Tate is one really good blocker, but go ahead.
He's not better than Tyson. I'll tell you right now, he's not better than Tyson. And he's not better than Tyson. That being said, you look at everything that Tyson did, and I'll go with there was Aqib Talib. One of my friends sent me Aqib Talib's they were going on about they were talking receivers on a show, and every single one of these DBs that was with Talib all went with Jordan Tyson's number one, and the host was like, "Well, what about the injuries?" Like, yeah, and he still put up these numbers, and he still does this. And Talib said he goes, his shiftiness off the line is unlike any other receivers in the game. He goes, straight line speed. He goes, there might be one that's faster, but Tyson's not slow. He goes, I look at him And he goes, that is a nightmare guy that, of course, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm in the room watching film. Like, where are you rolling your, nickel back to? Where are you going underneath? He goes, Jordan Tyson is the best receiver in the draft. And he goes, if people let him slide, he goes, that's just another team that he's going to smoke. And the Saints, I think, playing indoors, but his injury, and like Talib said it, he goes, everybody gets injured. But like, are you kidding me? And even Louis Riddick, who a lot of times, he's one of the few, like when Louis Riddick and when Mike Tannenbaum are on a ESPN show together, I just listen to Louis Riddick because Mike Tannenbaum, he says these things, and I'm like, no wonder why the Jets couldn't do anything. No wonder why the Jets still suck, because Mike Tannenbaum crushed them. But Jordan Tyson, look, it's a full package. I get it, and like everybody's saying, it's a part of the game. But his workout, his private, you're talking about like Adam's where he did a private workout, like I think it was in Tempe, and I mean, again, it was just like scouts and that. He didn't do their pro. He was out at their pro day, but he didn't do stuff. And obviously at the combine, I know he just did interviews, but yeah, this kid, I mean, like Hines Ward said, the way he grew, his patterns, everything. I mean, pretty much against Texas Tech on one good leg, that last drive takes him down the field and gets the winning touchdown. I mean, it's this kid is sick, and it's going to work out. I think it's going to work out. Kellen Moore, I mean, one thing I can say, he might not run the ball enough, but if he's going to throw the ball, and on the other side of Chris Olave too, like that's Jordan Tyson's going to tear it up. Like I already said, he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
You mentioned Kellen Moore. When he was the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, the way he used Amari Cooper, that's kind of the comp. Like he's going to use Tyson the exact same way. Amari Cooper's best years in the NFL with the Cowboys under Kellen Moore. That's exactly how I see Kellen Moore using Jordan Tyson.
And Chief, you want to know
I think it's a perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit.
But you want to know something funny? Amari Cooper's numbers probably would have been better if Kellen Moore actually would have ever run the ball just a teeny bit more. Amari Cooper's numbers yes, I agree with you, because I had him in fantasy every year. Amari Cooper's numbers were sick. But they would have been even better if Kellen Moore, like, let's chuck it the first 50 plays, and then now we'll try to run the ball for one. Like, but
yeah, the play action.
I think
a more one-on-one.
But yeah, no, I mean with Olave, I mean that's what I say to somebody. I'm like, if you can line him up, inside of. I'm like, if you line him up inside of Olave, or just switch it, line Olave up inside on that side of the field. Like, I'm sorry, the DBs are gonna hate their life, and if the Saints have any form of run game too. But man, I am Jordan Tyson, what he did, and how, like Hines Ward said, how he battled and how everything. And Hines Ward said this towards the end of the season this year, before they went to their bowl game. He's like, when people were asking, of course, about like, what are they getting in, somebody's always asking, hey, what's the team going to get in drafting Jordan Tyson? They're like, yeah, the injuries, this and that. They're like, if they would have beat Texas, and just, I was sitting right there as Texas scored on 4th and freaking a mile. If they would have beat Texas, Jordan Tyson was playing the next week. He got hurt against U of A, so he missed the Big 12 championship. They destroyed Iowa State. He missed, obviously, the Texas game, which they thought. I mean, he was. I mean, most of the practice was open, but like a lot of times, like players will obviously that are like, if they're banged up, they'll go in a different spot, but they're still running stuff. So like, if they would have beat Texas, he would have been on the field the next week. I mean, that's how quick. Like, and it wasn't like it would have been, a liability the next week, because obviously the coach wasn't going to put him on the field. But I just think this kid's going to light it up in New Orleans. Amari Cooper, that's good. I didn't really have a comp, but now that you say that is with Kellen Moore, that is a perfect comp.
Right. So next week we're going to have Tommy Bennett on. You can get him at TJ Bennett 37. This week we've got Michael on here with us, ASU alum and guy who likes to talk a lot about ASU football.
He knows a lot about it.
He does know a lot about it. I'm not taking that away from him. It's kind of like Jordan Tyson, right? I don't agree maybe that he's the best blocker, and I'm not sure if I agree that he's the best receiver in the whole thing, but he is talented. Just like Michael is. Michael very talented here. So
when Jordan Tyson wins Rookie of the Year next year, just play this clip back for me, please, because I already called it. He's going to.
You know what? If that happens, you and I will discuss off air. We'll make some kind of bet. All right, and if that
I
happens,
I can't bet because I jinx anything I bet. Believe me, I'm not good.
oh, here we go. He doesn't want to put his money where his mouth is. All right, that's
I'm
fine.
smart enough to know. There's
Okay.
times I've won and I feel like I've lost because certain things happen. So
Do you
no.
guys want to hear my prediction right now? It might change because we'll do a prediction show for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year right now.
Go ahead.
Jadarian Price, running back Seahawks. That's my prediction right now because he's going to get a lot of carries. He's going to be the guy.
That's interesting. In Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. They're going to be ahead a lot. They're going to run a lot. Like Jeremiah Love's better, but he's going to be behind a lot.
Yeah. So they're going to be behind all the time, sir. Not just a lot. Pretty much like 95% of the snaps.
No,
The only snaps they won't be behind.
Look, it's the
before
NFL.
Have you
kickoff
seen the
four.
schedule, Michael? Have you
Yeah,
seen
of
their
course I've seen
schedule?
the
It's like one of the hardest ever.
Look, okay, here's my thing about the
Here we
hardest
go.
schedule. This is what cracks me up because, especially division people. So, like me being a Cowboys fan, when I hear Eagles fans saying, "Oh, we got the hardest schedule," the NFL schedule. Okay, when it was 16, that's the same when it's 17 games now. But you play each person in your division, each team in your division twice. There's 6 games. You play another division in the NFC, so there's 10 games. You all play the same division in the AFC, so there's 14 games. So there are only 3 different games so the Eagles finished first. They would take on the first, because I think the NFC East plays NFC West this year. So they would take on the first place team in the South and the first place team in the North, and that's 16. But because there's that extra game with the AFC, so they'll pick a whatever division from there that they didn't play, and they'll take on like the first place. So they play the NFC East plays the AFC South. So say they take on they're each taking on a team from the North because the Cowboys have the Ravens in Brazil.
The Eagles played the Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles play. Yeah, that's right. The Eagles play the Steelers. The
So
Cowboys play the
that
Ravens.
might actually be beneficial. I don't think the Steelers are going to be the best team in the AFC North.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Even when it was 16 games, like there was only 2 different games. There wasn't that extra AFC game. So when everybody says, like, even when like fans of the Cowboys would say, "Oh, the Cowboys have the hardest schedule," I'm like, dude, there's only 2 different games that they have from the teams in the East. And I go, that's based off of last year. So by the time they play those teams, as you guys know, they could be absolute crap. They could be like, whether they got injured, whether they're not good, whatever. But I'm like, there's only 2 different games. So and I still catch myself saying, I'm like, oh, they have the hardest schedule. And then I have to go back and be like, I said it again because we just get so like just washed from hearing that I'm like, oh, they have the hardest schedule. But that's the only difference in every team's division schedule is where you finish the year before. You take on a team from a different division that finished in that same spot.
Yes, but the problem that the Cardinals have is that every team in their division is much better than they are. That's the problem they have.
Oh, well, at this point, yeah. I mean, Jeremiah Love, I like if you can't block for him, that, like I was saying about Scatterboo, that's going to be tough. The whole quarterback thing. I mean, they took Carson Beck late. Everybody, I'm sure it shocked you. Everybody out here, one of the first things they said, they're like, oh, he'll probably, after they release the schedule, they're like, well, so when's Carson Beck going to be the full-time starter? And everybody's like, we go with game 6. 5 and 6 are the highest ones.
Week 1.
No, 1.
Okay.
Right. You know what?
We think he's playing week 1 here.
1.
I
hope he wins the job.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I said 5 or 6. I'm just saying like out here is like week 5 is probably the whole money thing. And it's funny you're talking about Scatterboo before because they did a prediction thing of the Cardinals, early prediction of the Cardinals games. And the first game they have them winning is like against the Giants. And I'm like, wow, you picked the Giants? I'm like, I'm not saying they're not. Look, it's the NFL. Teams are going to win games. It's going to.
You never know.
It'll be challenging. But yes, it's the beginning of the schedule is not pretty. I agree. Again, it's not pretty.
We're actually going to talk about that and Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew and how all that stuff does here later on in our NFL segment. Right at the moment, we're doing our college football segment, of course. This is our college football spread offense. We've got a special guest with us. We got Michael. Michael, tell me your last name so I don't mess it up.
Caratanudo.
Carrots and noodle. See, I can
Look at
repeat
that.
it, but I can't. Yeah, okay. So, Cheese, I know you've got one more football question for him. Then I want to go to a couple baseball things. So I can't wait to hear some of this. I love. Let's not say love. I never liked Hines Ward because I'm a Bengals fan and he was a Steeler. But now that he's with ASU and I live here in Arizona, I'm starting to turn around to it. So I can't wait to hear this question. Go ahead, Cheese.
Yeah, Michael, you mentioned Hines Ward, and he's the Arizona State wide receiver coach. Anyone that's not watching, I believe he's also the assistant head coach. That can only help when it comes to recruiting wide receivers. Obviously, they just landed transfer Omarion Miller from Colorado, who I think, and after they got the transfer, I went back and watched film on him because I didn't watch a lot of Colorado until recently, but because they weren't very good. I think he will be a first-round pick in next year's draft. I actually put him third right now on my way too early big board among receivers, just behind Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State, and Cam Coleman of Texas. So tell me about Hines Ward's impact on recruiting wide receivers. And do you think that's the main reason why they got Omarion Miller to transfer?
I mean, yeah, but both of them, Michael, love this. I mean, they talked to Jordan Tyson. They see what he did with Jordan Tyson, and they see, Jordan Tyson putting in the work. But it's funny because the one thing that Hines Ward, I mean, like when you talk to him and you get it, like that's what he says. He's like, yeah, they have to, you're playing the college game, and yeah, it speeds up, and receiver has to be able to catch a ball. But like in recruiting, one of the first things, like, as they're talking when they start talking ball, one of the first things he says, if you don't block, you're not playing. Like, you could be as talented as that. If you do not block, you are not playing. And when you watch ASU film, and even, I'll even say this, before Coach Rashad Samples, he was a receivers coach. He went to Oregon to become the assistant head coach, and he's working with running backs there. And he sent a really cool message, speaking to Jordan Tyson on, I think he actually called it. He was talking to him on the phone. They showed the video, but Coach Samples called Jordan Tyson up because he was a major reason he got him to transfer in from Colorado, because basically Deion told him, even though he had a hell of a freshman year, that they might not really need him there. So cool. It was ASU's game. But with Hines Ward, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're not going to block, you're not going to do it. Like Omarion Miller, and like you said, yeah. I mean, people didn't watch Colorado. I mean, obviously, them being in the Big 12, I watched a little bit more of them, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, whew, this kid's good. But the other thing, they also, yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah, he is very fast.
He was so impressive on film.
Well, and the other receiver they brought in, two guys though, is Reed Harris, the 6'4", 6'5" kid from Boston College. And when you see his film too, again, I mean, speed wise,
I need to go back and watch him. I have not gone back to Boston College, because why would you watch Boston College last year?
Yeah. I mean, I just watched. I watched highlights once I saw he was transferring, but yeah, I didn't see any BC.
I need to go back and watch him.
But yeah, I mean, the receivers that are coming in, and Coach Ward, talks about it. They see, like, they're big on, Coach Gillingham, I mean, staff, but like, talk to the other players. Like, yeah, they're recruiting them, but talk to the other players. Like, that's one of the, like, absolutely huge things. But yeah, I mean, his coaching style, I mean, it's just like he played. That's why Michael said he couldn't stand. I mean, most, Cleveland fans can't stand him because of the Pittsburgh Cleveland thing. But yeah, I mean, he would, like I said, because I asked him one time, I go, hey, do you put on, like, not just your receptions and your, your Super Bowl touchdown and all this stuff, but like, do you put on, like, blocking? He goes, oh, that's one of the first films I put on. If they think that I didn't know how to, like, he was kidding around. I'm like, yeah, just in case they didn't know who you were. Right. I'm like, please. But I go, I know the kids may have been little, but yeah, he like talking about that. And it's just, in film. And I mean, they landed, like Raiden Vines Bright, a local kid who was not Fresno State, where again, they come from all over, and that's what goes blurry. But yeah, between Miller and Reed Harris, like that, I mean, that kid, like I said, is tall. Miller had some sick catches in spring ball. So did Harris. I mean, just going up, and to piggyback off that, I mean, yeah, granted, he's not Coach Mons is a tight ends coach, but the ASU tight ends room, guys, is a room of small power forwards.
Right.
I mean,
So I didn't ask you this. It's not on the notes, Michael, but I wanna wrap up the football by asking you this question. I want you to fill in this blank for me. I would be happy if Arizona State finishes blank.
I mean, undefeated, of course, but I get what you're saying. Realistically,
For you to be happy, what do they have to do? That's kind of the key in the sentence. Not what you expect, not the high ceiling. For you to be happy, it's a successful year if Arizona State does this.
Well, do you think they made the college football playoff not this year, but the year before? Do you think it's college football playoff? Do you think they should make it? And do you think they realistically could?
Okay, so I would be happy if they were, like back in the Big 12 championship game, and destroy the school down south. That's kind of, I know that's part. That's your question is, but like yes, like destroying that team and again owning them, like that makes us all happy. But yeah, I would say Big 12 championship. I mean, it's an interesting schedule, obviously, because they go to London week 3. That's their first Big 12 game. Kansas is the home team. They're the road team, but I'm looking forward to that. They go to A&M, though, the week before. They open against Morgan State. Then they go to A&M, and then they go to London. And then they have a bye and come back and, have, some non-con. But you look at conference, I mean, they skip Utah this year because of the imbalance.
That's an early bye week too.
Well, yeah, because it's right after they go to London for the Union Jack Classic on the 19th, and then they have the 26th off, and then that's their only bye. Then they go straight out, but they have another Big 12 game in Baylor, and then they take on Hawaii here in Tempe, and then they go to Texas Tech. Hey, funny random worthless knowledge stat about that. Now, granted, they're both in the Big 12 now, but their history of playing each other before, but neither team has ever won on the other team's home field.
Which two teams were that?
Texas Tech and ASU.
Okay.
I think Arizona State was the only team to beat them before the playoff last year, weren't they?
Yep. They were the only team to beat them.
When they went to the playoff in 24, they lost to.
No, but they were the only team to beat Texas Tech, I think, until Oregon beat them in the playoff. I think they were the only team to beat.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Texas Tech going to the playoff. No, I was going to say because
they beat Texas Tech, but yeah.
When ASU went to the when they won the Big 12 and went to the Big 12 championship, their first Big 12 conference game was on the road in Lubbock, which I was there for, and they lost that game. But then they battled back. They rocked the season and gave
Scadaboo went off. Scadaboo eventually just went off.
Yeah, 100%. So, but yeah, no, look, guys, I'd be happy with getting back to the Big 12 championship. I mean, record wise, I think you probably have to be like 10-2 for that, ish, because again, people can say whatever they want. Like what you've seen at the top of the Big 12, what Baylor, what Coach Arena has done down there, what Baylor is able to do. Obviously, TCU Tech is freaking. I mean, they're freaking loaded. I know all that, stuff with the
oil money,
but Tech's loaded. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Sorsby. Oh, yeah. He's not coming back. He is going to have to enter the supplemental draft.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
It was just announced today. He is not going to be reinstated. So.
Oh, because, I mentioned that last week on my show. I'm like, I'll let you guys know. I'm like, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, that is a funny stat about that. Every time those two have ever played, no one's ever won on the other team's home field. So people were like, oh, so you're saying they're losing to Texas Tech this year? I'm like, no, this is the year they break that cycle. I don't know. But, yeah, it's an interesting schedule. I mean, like I said, they get to skip they skip Utah. I think they skip they play K-State. They skip Utah. Oh, they skip West Virginia too. They have no West Virginia and no Utah and no Cincinnati. So, I mean, again, that's why the tiebreakers are just a pain in the ass, but as you guys know, but it's a Big 12 championship. I'd say they can definitely get there. It's I mean, the tough part, like you said, it's the early bye and they get it right. They get to come back from London. They have that bye and then, they play another Big 12 team, then have their last non-con game and then just rip the rest of the way through the schedule.
Sure. So I want to transition a little bit here. We talk baseball and football on the show. I don't think we've ever talked college football on this show before, but we're going to do a little bit of that.
You mean college baseball?
College baseball.
What'd I say?
You said never talk college football before.
Oh, yeah, we talk college football all the time.
I was going to say, I was like, wow.
Man.
All right.
Wow, what are we doing
wow.
here?
Talk
Wow,
college
geez,
women's
really
tennis.
likes nothing you have to say about college football.
So let me pull this up here. We'll kind of transition into the baseball here real fast. If I can hit the right buttons and get to where I need to go here. We need a producer on this show. That's what we need, but we're not going to get one. So that's no. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Bob Horner for a second. He passed away today. We'll go into and transition into baseball on this note. I'll read to you what's on the screen here. Bob Horner built a career out of being first. He was the first overall pick in the 1978 draft. After his illustrious college career, he was the first Braves draftee to skip the minor leagues entirely and debut directly in the majors. He was the first Atlanta player to ever hit 4 home runs in a single game when he did so against the Montreal Expos in 1986. The National League Rookie of the Year in 78 and the National League All-Star in 82, Horner led the team with Dale Murphy to form one of the most feared power duos in the game for nearly a decade. The Atlanta Braves extend sincere sympathies to his wife, Chris, 2 sons, Tyler and Trent, and his numerous friends and fans across the game. I also want to just pull up a picture of Bob. He passed away today, former Atlanta Brave, one of Cheese's 2 big baseball teams. We can kind of tie everything together here with what we're doing as far as baseball-wise goes. Bob Horner, who passed away today and was born in 1957, an Atlanta Brave and an ASU graduate. So Michael, we're gonna go into a little bit of baseball here for a moment. Let me get to where I need to go here. Click the right buttons. There we go. So before we let you go, Cheese is the qualified guy that talks football. But on your show, the Pitchfork Lunch, what ASU sports do you talk about? I mean, is it the gamut? Is it just a few? Talk to us for a moment.
No, man, it is all 25 of them. 25. 26, yeah, all of them. But yeah, no, baseball, obviously, they just got their they won 1 game in the Big 12 tournament out here, obviously, at Surprise Stadium, and I was there for that. They dropped the second one, but they're headed to Lincoln. And yeah, the tradition, like I said, I was trying to tell you guys, transparency to everybody before we started the show, that that like if you take a picture, like their outfield wall is just insane. Like the numbers, like, the players that are honored. I mean, they put numbers up, but there are some duplicate numbers up there for players. And obviously, Bob Horner is one of them. But yeah, no, all sports. I mean, women's golf just finished up, and they had a hell of a season. Their 35th straight postseason. Women's tennis is like it's just insane. But like, yeah, from tennis, obviously football, basketball. I mean, what Molly Miller did in the women's hoops is just insane. Turning around. I mean, yeah, had to hit the portal, but players bought in, and the fact that they did what they were able to do this year was awesome. But yeah, I mean, men's hoops too. Women's water polo, which again, water polo is just the Olympics. I equate Summer Olympic water polo to people, and I'm not ripping on it too. I always say this: I challenge anybody, just an average sports fan, not somebody that's covering the Olympics, but if you're flipping through the channels on the Winter Olympics and curling comes on, try and change the channel in 3 minutes, because you can't do it. I mean, I remember the first time I saw curling, it was like an hour and a half went by, and I'm like, oh my God, I've almost been watching it was like an hour and 45. I'm like, I've been watching this for 2 hours. I was just so entertained. But water polo in and of itself, phenomenal. And obviously men's and women's swimming, what they've done there. So yeah, I mean, women's lacrosse, obviously softball. I get out to it all.
So Michael, I'm the baseball guy, and although I've watched very little college baseball, I must say the Sun Devils under new coach Willie Bloomquist have me intrigued. and I might carve some time out for them out of my busy schedule. So let me rattle off some stats for some of these people that might not understand what Sun Devil baseball has done here recently. So they've increased or maintained their win totals over the last 4 years. They've gone 26, 32, 32, and 36. And Bloomquist has increased his conference win total every year. He went from 13 to 16 to 17 to 18. Both very impressive. In their 2025 regular season, they won 23 games against the Power 4 teams, the fifth highest tally in the country, just behind USA, Texas, Clemson, Kansas. So they went 5-3 in 8 games against the top 25. They were one of just 12 teams in the country that's played at least 5 top 25 teams this year, and they had a winning record after doing so. And they were the only one that did it that was not part of the SEC. Again, really impressive. The Sun Devils the Sun Devils were the only team in the country not to lose a game by more than 5 runs in the regular season this year. In 2025, ASU batted .314 as a team and finished second in the Big 12 Conference, and they led the Big 12 in hits, doubles, and slugging percentage. They also led the Big 12 in pitching staff when it comes to strikeouts, and they were 6th nationally. The team is also tied for second in the Big 12 in fielding percentage. Arizona State showed its prowess in the all-around team, as they were the only team in the nation that finished the regular season in the top 15 in both batting average, Ks through 9, and their fielding percentage. Almost done here, I swear. I love stats. 4 times his program has overcome 7-run deficits this year to come back and win a game. So, Michael, it's fundamental baseball. It's exciting baseball. So push me over the edge, buddy. Why should I give the Arizona State Sun Devils baseball under the leadership of Willie Bloomquist a chance?
Well, I mean, because he's an alum, and it does matter. You know, not that coaches don't want to win; it matters more. But the one crazy, I mean, all those phenomenal stats. I'm like, yep. But this is the first time since 1982 that they went undefeated in road conference series. Yeah, Willie told me that on the show. It was he talked about that. It was insane. Like it is just insane. But yeah, no, look what he's built, and he talks about, you guys talked about the draft. You talk about the MLB draft, and he's like, yeah, using the portal, they want local guys. I mean, Landon Hairston, the son of obviously, his dad played in the majors, his uncle played in the majors, his grandfather played in the majors, but he just broke ASU's all-time home run season record with 28. He had his 28th dinger in the Big 12 championship. He tied it the last week of the season. Last weekend in Houston, he hit his 27th when he hadn't hit some home runs for a little bit. Finished the season batting over 400. It's a local kid, but it's the type of guys that Willie wants here. And I'm not saying other coaches aren't transparent; they don't say it. But anything that Willie says to us post game, he said to his players. He's not just trying to say it there and know that they'll see it and get their attention. No, I mean it's his thing. He's big on accountability. He's big on. Like I said, the players they brought in, everything you want. Like, again, it's an alum, not that other coaches don't care, but it's just when you talk to, and there's 8 different sports that have alum coaches at ASU.
Is there kids in the background anywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Kids everywhere in the background.
I just hear all these kids all of a sudden.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's my.
It sounds like you're keeping them in your closet behind you, and they finally decided that they're going to break out or something.
Oh, yeah, no, not that now. It's my friend's kids. I was actually over at his house. We were loading a lot of stuff up, so.
Okay.
All right, no problem. So, we'll go through this, man. I've only got one other question for you here, buddy, and we're going to let you go, but I appreciate you being on here. We'll let you plug your stuff one more time here in just a second. Last question for me, sir. You guys at ASU have had a ton of Major League Baseball people. We were talking about it. We talked about Bob in the beginning, who just passed away today, very sadly. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. You've had Reggie Jackson. You've had Dustin Pedroia. But I think probably, Michael, the biggest name that you've ever had come out of ASU, obviously, is Barry Bonds. So has the school told Bonds that they don't want him around? Is it Barry's choice that he doesn't want to be around ASU, or is he just there, but it's not publicized?
I haven't really seen him around. I don't think the school's ever. I have no knowledge, and that would be, other athletic directors, I guess, passing it down to other ADs, but I've never heard anything like that. I mean, yeah, I would say between him and Reggie, because having gotten to meet and talk to Reggie Jackson a few times, I mean, obviously what, he did in his playing career and all that. But yeah, Bonds, I mean, and again, I mean, everybody talks about the steroids and stuff. And I mean, I'm of the ilk, and I know a show with you guys for another day. But yeah, I mean, if they did, any player that like literally did do it and they positively, like they tested positive, they have positive tests on them, no, they shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Because the scary thing is, like, if people are right, and a lot of the reports you saw, like, people saying, oh, Barry Bonds like was just annoyed they're talking about these home run hitters, this and that, and whatever. If he started doing them or not, it's just, like, I mean, people's like, well, your head doesn't grow like that when you're that. I'm like, look, either way, the insane thing is he was a Hall of Famer before when he left Pittsburgh. Like, if he had to like retire, or if he chose to retire, say he had a like, well, okay, basically retire because he got injured, couldn't play anymore. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Like, his numbers were insane. I mean, the 30-30, they created the 40-40 for him, like almost like it was just insane what he did in Pittsburgh. And then to have, obviously all that. And again, he wasn't the only player that was doing it, but I've never heard anything like that, Michael. I think it's okay. Would I be surprised if maybe that kind of went down the line? I mean, I don't know. I mean, now in this day and age, no, because I mean, they nicknamed Landon Hairston Harry Bonds. That was what the team gave him the nickname, obviously, with this home run streak. So, I mean, whether he chooses to want to be around or not, I mean, again, it's not that, Willie loves having an alum. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the recruiting stuff where, they'll like a player signed and that like Dustin Pedroia or, anybody like that, like you're like Andre Ethy or somebody like alum will sit there and be like, hey, welcome, Merrill Kelly, obviously he's a Sun Devil and a Diamondback, but like, we'll be like, hey man, welcome to the family. So glad you're signed. The ASU social media department does a hell of a job with that. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I never heard anything, and maybe you have, because I mean, I follow it, but being obviously in spring training, I never heard Barry Bonds say anything terrible about spring training or about ASU, or like if it was like he had some, distant thing, but I don't know, but it's a bummer. But, I will say this, you mentioned the draft, the Devil baseball for ASU too, because you have the phenomenal stats. So I had to look this up for you, Michael, but I found it. It says ASU has 4 number 1 overall picks. Spencer Torkelson in 2020 at third base, Bob Horner, third base in 78, Floyd Bannister in 76.
Floyd Bannister, okay.
Yeah, Rick Monday back in 1965.
I was wondering if you knew the fourth one, because I did. Rick Monday, yep.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, and it says, and this is the most. That's the most in NCAA history, having 4 number 1 picks spread out like that. But ASU has the most, and I think it's like 109. Man, I'll take a picture next time I'm out by Muni, because I mean they're done there. Well, I said unless they get lucky, they're going to win their regional in Lincoln. But if NC State wins the Auburn regional, they're both number 3 seeds, but ASU has a better record, so ASU would get to host a super regional then. So
I tell you what, here's what I'll say to you, Michael. I live here in Arizona. I'm not sure if you know and realize that or not. Here's what I'll say to you: if they make their super regional, I'll come down and meet you at the game, and we'll both go out to the wall together. How about that?
Oh, I mean, I will definitely be putting in for my credentials for that, but absolutely. Because you'll see the wall. It's insane. Like when you see the numbers and then you see like, I mean, they haven't been to the World Series since 2010. I mean, that's like way too long. I mean,
they have a chance this year. They're a good team.
They do. No, and I'm just saying, like, that is like for, and Willie will, I mean, he'll talk about the elephant in the room, but like for, and like you said, I mean, you cover baseball, but even in the history of college baseball, but like for Sun Devil baseball, like alum fans, like that's like, no, like you do not go that long in between, like going to the World Series or going to regional. So like, I mean, yeah, it's Willie's got it turned around, and there's some there's some doozies got coming in, but at least we have Harrison for one more year because I got to wait 3 years to draft that guy. So
Correct. Well, I tell you what, man, we have enjoyed you. Obviously, you know your stuff about ASU and, the football, the baseball, and all the other aspects. Tell us one more time, Pitchfork Lunch, right? When is it? Where can we get it?
Mondays through Friday. I didn't say that in the beginning. You're right. Monday through Friday, because I'm a Sun Devil. I take the weekend off. I still keep up and watch everything. But Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Again, on my YouTube channel, you see my name, Michael Caratenuto. It's at MVC005. Search it. It is all there. Subscribe, watch there. On X at Diablo005_ as you see here. And my IG, Michael.Caratenuto.5. And soon, hopefully, I've been talking to my friend back on internet radio on KSRN because, that was a great outlet, man. It was a lot of fun. Got a lot of comments. So,
Sounds good.
I appreciate you guys. And
hey, no problem, man. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you,
man.
Demarius Randall doesn't suck cheese, and
you're
welcome for Micah Parsons. You're welcome for Micah Parsons, Michael. Yeah, you keep him in line, man.
Demarius Randall sucks,
man.
And I just say this: Cardinal Tate is one of the best pass blocking receivers in this class. So just throwing it out there.
Okay, well, he's still not gonna have better numbers than Jordan Tyson. So.
All right, Michael. We'll talk some more off there because I want to get with you a little bit, and maybe we'll team up and do a couple other things. So, but like I said, we'll talk off air, and I'll start messaging you and stuff, and we'll continue this relationship. Maybe we'll have you back on the show again. Okay?
Absolutely. And you can come on and talk ASU. Cheese isn't invited though. No, I'm just kidding. You're invited, Cheese.
I think sometime in after the season we'll be talking Amari Miller. I think he's I love what I saw from Colorado, and he's going to be in a better situation in Arizona State.
Hey, their highest and CJ Fight. I'd be remiss.
CJ Fight, yeah.
CJ Fight is a defense this, like I said, as a leader, this kid, but man, every year growing, and Coach Reynolds. Anyway, I'm not going to start because Michael's going to yell at me, but CJ Fight. CJ Fight.
We still got 2 more segments to do. We're an hour and a half into this, so calm down over there, buddy.
You guys rock.
All right, Michael, again, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate you. Everybody can get you on Pitchfork Lunch.
Yep.
We'll post the next few on our channel as well. And then, like I said, Michael, we'll talk some more off air later on, and we'll get together on some stuff. So thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Later, man.
All right.
Am I still in the middle?
Well, hang on. I got to – whoa.
Am I the center of attention?
Oh, I don't know about all that. But hold on. I got to figure out which one we're doing here.
This is – okay.
There we
go. Okay.
There's all kinds of buttons over here. I just got to memorize them all and do it there. So you read that comment, and I'll get a couple other things situated here, ready to go. So.
Okay, so sports writer Jeff Pearlman has an excellent YouTube channel called Press Spot Chronicles, where he tells great stories behind his Sports Illustrated articles. He's a great take on Barry Bonds being kind of a jerk. William, I came to that conclusion that he was a jerk a long time ago. I'll say this though, the first time I ever went to Wrigley Field, he was in left field, so it's been quite a few years. He's playing for the Giants, and I was sitting in the bleachers, and Cubs fans, by the 6th, 7th inning, they're drunk in the bleachers. I was, I was young, so I was 100% sober, of course. But
sure, a lot of people, you were.
Yeah, no, but I was. The things they say, the things he has to take. They were saying some like his mom did nothing wrong. I don't blame her at all when they were saying things about her. And some of these players just get heckled so much. I'm not defending Barry Bonds, but he's going to be a target, and they were just heckling him the whole time. And he just takes it. He stood there and took it. He's not going to react, and that's what you have to do. But he comes off as a big time jerk.
Yeah. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a lineup of what we're going to do here over the next few weeks. So like we said, that was Michael. You can go back through and listen to everything that we talked about with him, ASU football and a little bit of baseball at the end. Next week, we're going to have Tommy Bennett on. You can get him at TJ Bennett 37 on X. He will be on to talk Boston Red Sox and New England Patriots with us. Next week, we're going to I'm taking a couple of weeks off. So, Cheese is going to have the reins here, and he's going to have a guest with him. We'll talk to you about all of that later on. But then on June 23rd, Wayne Gregoriev Jr. is going to be on here. If you saw him, he was on our NFL podcast. He does a lot of stuff with the New England Patriots. And of course, he has a new sports website that we will plug here for just a second. It is Anubis, right? I think that's how you say it, right, Cheese? Anubis, the
Yes,
Egyptian god of the underworld, right?
Yeah, he was talking about a lot on our mock draft special. Yes, he started a new website, correct.
Yeah, so we're going to have him on. We're actually working out a deal to where all Gloves Off Sports Media and his sports company are going to kind of team up and do some things together, which will be great. His website there is opinion-driven content, professionally written. And you're like, well, I'm sure every website wants that. But for those of you who have ever been on some of these sites, they're not that way. But Nubis is. So, and then the week after that, the last week in June, we're going to have Benjamin Mungia on. We'll talk more about him later on, but he'll be on as well. Got a nice channel. We're doing some things with him too. So a lot of guests on. Cheese and I are really getting into the helping everybody else out, bringing them onto the show, and then we go on to their shows and all of that kind of stuff. So that is how we're going to grow this community of All Gloves Off Sports Media. All right, buddy. It is baseball time. So let's start the music, and let's give you the best podcast baseball graphic ever made. All right, there it is, man. What more could you want? A baseball, the stitches, the flames. Yeah. Sometimes it gets a little hot over here, but we like it that way. We like the hot.
Yeah, it says the person doesn't have to do the 5 most of the time, except for April Fools. Except for April Fools, I made you do it. Yes.
Yes. It was a little hot. I'll give it that, buddy. It was a little hot. So we're getting ready to jump into our baseball stuff here, and then we'll do our NFL segment last. I do want to tell you guys we're not doing a top 10 at the end of the show like we usually do. We wanted to dedicate more time to Michael and ASU, so we did that. We'll be doing a few Major League Baseball topics, and then we will jump into a couple of football topics at the end. And then we will bid you guys adieu. So without further ado, let's jump into the baseball here. Cheese, Brewers pitcher Jacob Misiorowski leads MLB with 100 Ks, a 40.3 strikeout percentage, a 32.7 strikeout to walk percentage. Again, he leads in all of these categories. And then K per 9 innings is 14.06. He leads in that as well. And then here's the other one he leads, opponent batting average. The people who face Misiorowski are only batting a .52 off of it. So out of those stats, Cheese, which one is the most impressive?
Did you say 40% K rate?
Yes.
Strikeout rate? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he has a 40% K rate. So in other words, 40% of the pitches he throws are strikes.
Well, no, a K percentage. I thought it was like 40% of his outs are strikeouts. Isn't that what it is? I could be wrong.
I don't think so, but okay, maybe. I don't know. One of us is wrong, just so we know.
Well, if that's the case, if he's striking out 40% of the outs he makes are strikeouts, that's the most impressive. That's insane. That is, oh my gosh. What do you think?
Man, when people, and this is not a small sample size. I mean, we're to Memorial Day weekend here. You know, it just passed. So that's basically what everybody in baseball looks at as the first third of the season. You're going to see on the sports pulpit, I'm going to look at people who are contenders and pretenders.
Yeah, 40.3% of his outs have come via strikeout, according to Google.
Wow.
He's struck out 100 guys already.
He's already struck out 100. Yeah,
100
Dylan Cease
guys.
is right there on his tail, but yes, he's got 100.
But he's on the injured list.
Yes, he just got hurt. I watched that game yesterday, actually. And I tell you what, I'm glad you brought that up, Cheese. There's a lot of people. I saw that Mr. First Down and his new co-host were having a debate on the person that they put in the Tennessee Titans booth. They weren't real happy about that. There are some games that I have watched to where it's like, oh my gosh, these announcers are terrible, right? And I have to like mute it.
Texas Rangers.
And I have to just mute it and watch. But you had Dexter Fowler, you had Matt Capps. I don't know, both of those guys are major league people. Dexter Fowler, most probably famously for the Rockies more than anything else.
Dexter Fowler, World Cup. I mean, he won a World Series with the Cubs.
That's true. He did win a World Series with the Cubs. Okay, calm down.
The Cardinals he played for as well. Yeah.
He did. He played for all of those teams. You're right. Matt Capps, pitcher who I would know. Okay, so let me do it that way. The pitcher who I would put him with is more the Washington Nationals than anybody else. But the two of them were really well together. And then Fletcher was there with them. Man, the Sunday morning, what do they call it? I believe it's on Peacock. They're calling it Sunday Leadoff. Those guys, I liked those three together. So if you get a chance to see that and listen to it, that's a really good time there for baseball. That's fantastic. I really enjoyed that. So. Okay, we've gone through and we've said all of these great stats that Jacob Mezorowski has. So now I'm going to ask you if he is better than a few people. And I think these would be some interesting questions here. So the first one, Cheese, is he better than Paul Skeens?
Right now, this year, he has been. I was looking at Skeens.
Mm-hmm.
He has been dominant the last 2 years, obviously won the Cy Young. But he doesn't miss bats like Mezorowski does. So I would say right now, yes. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy because I don't think Mezorowski gets near the attention that Skeens gets, but I think he's a better pitcher than he is. So let me ask you about the next one too. What about the guy who I can't stand, and you know this already? What about Shohei Ohtani? Is Mezorowski a better pitcher right now? Now we're not talking hitting. We'll talk about that in a minute. But is he a better pitcher than Shohei is?
This is tricky because Shohei's been unbelievable. If anyone doesn't know how good Shohei has been as pitching, his bat has not been nearly as good. But as a pitcher, he's been incredible. I would still say slightly yes. I know Shohei's ERA is like less than a run. But as far as missing bats, just impactful, probably yes. But God, that's tough. I'd say it's a push.
Okay,
that's not really an answer.
No, that's okay. I'm actually. You're giving me a second to look up his stats here. So, let's see.
Like Shohei Ohtani as a bat has just not been the same. He's just been a good bat, not great, not even close to what he has been. But as a pitcher, he's been unbelievable this year.
Right. So 1.7 WAR for Ohtani in 49 games. Let's see, 34 runs given up, 51 hits, 12 doubles, only 1 triple all year, and only 8 home runs. So he's given up 6 stolen bases. I mean, I can go on and on and on. His walk to strikeout ratio is not great though, and that's where I like Mezorowski better. I would say yes, and to me it's not even close. But I'm probably a little biased because I don't like Shohei.
Well, yeah, I mean. Ohtani's ERA is lower, but we know that ERA can be misleading, park adjusted, luck. I mean, it can be. It's not the best stat.
Correct. But so here's and maybe we should talk about this for a moment. Kind of the stats that I look at are strikeout to walk. For Shohei, it's 52 to 39, and opponent's batting average is something else I looked at. We just said that Mezorowski's was like $152. Well, Shohei's is 273. So they're batting almost 300 off of Shohei Ohtani. That's an average at best pitcher. So
I'm not seeing that. I really maybe I'm looking at the wrong stats for Ohtani, but I have him as.
You know what? Okay, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong thing because
okay. I was looking to say he doesn't walk that many people. Yeah, he's been pretty dominant as a pitcher this year. His stats look better. But if you look at the analytical numbers, then Mezorowski has actually been better. And like I said, park adjusted can change the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was looking at his batting, not what he's done. So that was my fault, buddy. You're right. You're right. It's better than what it is, but I just think Mizorowski's done really well overall. And the big thing for me is just because he's not a Japanese phenom and just because he's not, some of these other things, right? He's just not getting the attention that I think he deserves. Can we at least agree on that? He needs to have more attention on him.
Yeah, the Brewers, because he's on the Brewers, you're not getting much attention. Shohei Ohtani has 54 strikeouts. Mizorowski has 100. So almost double the amount of strikeouts. So, yes, ERA is better for Ohtani, but Mizorowski leads in most of the analytical stats.
All right, so Ketel Marte. No, I'm sorry. I have one more question on Mizorowski first. So you said it. He's with the Brewers. And then you were very honest and said, well, because he is with the Brewers, he's not going to get the attention that everyone else does. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. But how far can he take the Brewers this year?
Certainly, assuming he doesn't drop off, he's the favorite for the Cy Young. He's the chance of win every fifth day. You probably have a very good chance to win, so he can take them far. But we know the Brewers, they can get in the playoffs. They can win. They've won the division 2 years in a row. We know they have a good roster. We know they can make the playoffs, but they always get to a playoff series where they just lay a brick. They got to the NLCS last year, and they played not even like a AAA team, like a AA team. I mean, it was a joke. So he's only one guy, and he's a pitcher. He's not going to play every day. So he can get them in the playoffs, but a lot of other players have to step up for them to make it far.
All right. So I, again, agree with all of those things you just said. Let's move on to an offensive guy here. So Ketel Marte, in his first 39 games, he was a .208 batter with only 19 runs. Again, this is 39 games, all right? 12 extra base hits, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs with 11 walks and 13 Ks. But in the 11 games since then, he's batting .469 with 14 runs, 9 extra base hits. Again, in these only 11 games, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's walked 5 times and only struck out 3. Let me pull up the graphic here because for those of you who may not know, he was just given Player of the Week. There are his stats for the last week and why he got Player of the Week. Those are very impressive as far as that part goes. Let me leave that graphic.
OPS.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy? So Cheese, I think this is interesting, and I'm really interested to hear your comments on this. Why do you think hitters go on streaks like this?
I don't know.
You were supposed to be insightful, and
here's the thing, Mike. It keeps happening more and more every year. We see this. We see guys go through slumps. PCA struggled early, then was on fire, then struggled again, then was on fire. Everybody is like this. Like Dansby Swanson doesn't ever hit till June. He just doesn't. He's hitting a little under 200 last I looked. He will probably do great in June, July. This is just, I don't understand this, but this is just a thing. More and more hitters are having stretches, not just a slump for 3-4 games, weeks on end, and then hit everything for weeks on end. I have no idea why this is happening, but let me know if you think this is my one theory that when a guy gets hot, usually hitters just doing something really well. And so Sal Stewart is a perfect example. And you can talk more about him than me. He was hitting everything. Wasn't just like the first 3 weeks. He wasn't just, rookie of the year favorite. He was one of the best hitters in baseball. And then he hit nothing for 2 weeks and the Reds struggled. And then he adjusted and he started hitting again. You can probably talk more about the adjustment, but I think that's the main reason. I think adjustments, pitchers adjust, hitters adjust back. What do you think?
And I agree with that, especially in the case of a Sal Stewart who just came in the league this year. But Ketel Marte's been in the league several years. So and you talked about your Cubs. Let's talk about your Cubs team as a whole, right? Comes out, wins 10 games, loses 7 in a row, wins 10 more games in a row. I mean,
they've lost 10 now. They've lost 10 straight. They've lost 10 straight. Oh, Michael Busch is the only one that's hit in the last couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So
no one else is hitting. Yeah.
And then you can talk about, is it contagious and all of this stuff. And do people then press and, as we start to press, or not we, because you and I aren't at the dish, but, as they start to press, Does it get even worse? And all of this. So, Cheese, here's the exercise that I want to do here for a moment. I'm going to put a manager's hat on you, buddy.
Uh-oh.
And yes, and as a manager, when a player gets on a hot streak like this, do you move the hitter up in the lineup, or do you not mess with it?
Oh, can I charge them out and get? Can I get tossed? Can I go
Yes,
scream?
you can do whatever you want.
CB Buckner is in trouble. I'm the manager now. I usually, if a guy's hot, you don't mess with it. Keep him there. But I usually don't. But a lot of people will do. I think it's more important to move a guy down and say, look, you're not hitting. You're usually our number 2 hitter. We're going to move you down to 6. Your number 1 hitter. We're going to move you down to 7 until you prove it again. Maybe it's a wake up call. So I wouldn't necessarily move a good hitter up. I'd move a bad hitter down. The guy's struggling.
All right, so I can understand that.
What do you think?
When you got a struggling, and you said it best, I believe, it's a wake up call for them. It's like, okay, you're making X amount of dollars, and we expect you to perform. Even though I promised you the leadoff role, TJ Friedel for the Reds is a great example. He's been moved down. Now he's been benched for a few times, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do with him. So I get that. How about this, Cheese? Again, I'm going to put your manager's hat on you. If they have a scheduled day off, and for those of you who don't know, usually the teams schedule days off about a week to 10 days in advance, and they'll tell the player, okay, on the Thursday day game, you're not going to play. That way you have 2 days off, stuff like that. Especially for the players who have been doing it for quite a few number of years, the managers will tell them quite a little ways ahead of time, hey, you're going to have Wednesday off or Thursday off or whatever it is, right? So, but when a person like this is this hot, Cheese, would you be at least tempted to skip that day off and let them play, even though that may do more consequences or may be more hurtful in the long run, but you're just trying to win right now?
Yeah, I think it's just one game. I don't think it's if someone's hot, you don't want to take them out of the lineup. A lot of times those scheduled off days are matchups too. Like if you have a left-hand hitter only versus a lefty that's really good at getting lefties out, that might be the game you schedule. But maybe you got switched because of a rain out, So a lot of times it's matchup. So yeah, I'd be tempted. If someone's hot, you don't want to take them out of the lineup. That's the worst thing you can do. So yeah, I would definitely be tempted.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I don't necessarily like the scheduled days off as far as that part goes. I mean, I know it's kind of a necessary thing, especially if you have maybe if you have a player who is, been hurt for a while or he gets like nagging injuries or something like that. I certainly understand it. If you're trying to keep him healthy, or if you have, let's say, I'm trying to think of a player maybe that would be in that spot right now. If you had like a Eugenio Suarez who seems to get injured once or twice every year, and you're trying to keep him on the field as much as possible, and you're thinking, okay, so days off will do that, then all right, I understand that as well. How about this last part of this one, and then we'll move on to the ABS challenge system, because I'm really excited to get your feedback on this as well as we go through these questions here. Cheese, would you curtail extra stuff off the field, like interviews and autograph signings and other commitments that you're going to have when other, let's say Fox comes in and they want to talk to Ketel Marte during the game, they want to mic him up and all of that? Are you like, no. He's the hottest thing on the planet right now, and I am doing nothing whatsoever to disturb that. How would you handle that as far as management capacity?
I'm not stopping autograph signings. Hell no. I think it's important. I think it's important to connect with the fans. But yes, interviews during the game, yeah, those got to go. No, I don't like them anyway. I don't like when the manager talks to it. I know you don't like either, right?
No, I can't
stand it. So yeah, but no, anything involving the fans and connect with the fans, I'm not stopping. But yes, interviews, especially during the game, yeah, those can go. Get them out. I don't like them anyway.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't like it is really simple to me. I don't know how, what your reasoning is behind it, but none of those cupcake questions ever give me any more insight to either the game that I'm watching or anything else that's going on with that team, right? Oh, well, what do you think about?
They talk about everything that's good and talk about how what's going through your mind when your teammates are playing so well. I hate that question. What are they supposed to say? That's the easiest question ever. What were you going to say?
Right? What are they supposed to go? Oh, well, I hate my teammates, so I don't even think about them. I mean, what
was
are they
going
supposed
through
to
your
say,
mind,
right?
Michael, when Cheese was hitting 2 home runs yesterday? What was going through your mind? Were you happy?
No, I was thinking to myself, I wish we would lose today. I mean, what do they want him to say, right? That's the reason why I don't like all those interview things, because it's just a waste of time. You're just going to film cupcake questions and they're going to answer it. As soon as you ask the question, everybody watching knows how they're going to answer the question. So why? Why even do it? I don't understand it. I'll never like it. Yeah, I want to get off on some big tangent about it, but I can't stand it.
That's stupid.
Here's something that I do love, Cheese. ABS in baseball.
Okay.
And I want to ask you, I like it. Do you think it's working or not? ABS, automatic ball strike system in baseball. I've got some stats for you if you haven't read the notes. So just wait till we get to them.
Okay. I love it. I think it was definitely a pro hitter early on. I think the pitchers have kind of adjusted, come back a little, but I love it. We want to get it right. We want accuracy. And what it's done is made the 4 or 5 worst umpires. It's made them either better or they get stuff overturned. So I love it.
Yeah, and then we're going to do, we'll do this question, and then we're going to get into our batting cleanup, which is sponsored by ForwardFan.com. We'll get to that here in just a moment as well. So I agree with you. I love the ABS system. I think it's made the game even more interesting if you could do that for a junkie like me. But so from 2000 to 2025, of course, no balls or strikes were overturned because the system wasn't available.
Right.
This year, in 2026 through Sunday, I don't know if have you looked at the notes, Cheese?
Sure, no.
Okay.
But I can pull them up now.
I don't know if you know the number or not, because I don't know if you do or not. All right. So
I don't.
How many? How about this?
I'll pull them up.
Well, no, don't pull them up. Don't look.
Okay.
Don't look. So again, 2000 to 2025, no balls or strikes have been overturned because the system wasn't in place yet.
Okay.
So, Cheese, how many balls and strike calls do you think have bing overturned through Sunday of this season, the first season that this ABS has been implemented?
Third of the way through the season, how many games have been played? I guess teams have played at least 50 games. So 30 teams times 50 is what's the
stop math, and you're killing me right now.
So if one per game, I guess it'd be 1,500. I don't know.
You're putting a lot more thought into this than I thought you would.
Probably not one per game. Probably like a 12 or 1,300.
12 or 1,300.
Yeah.
1,697 have been overturned.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's more than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So, do you think there's been a problem, or do you think there are other factors that have contributed to 1,697 calls being overturned so far in the Major League season?
It's just bad umpires. I think it's simple. Very bad umpires. In fact, it should be higher if they had more challenges. If you had 3 or 4 challenges, you could early on. I've seen some players not challenge, and they're like I want to challenge, but I want to keep those later. So it's just bad umpiring. CB Buckner, I'm sure, has had his a bunch overturned, but yeah, it's just we need to improve umpiring, and the worst umpires should be fired every year. They're not going to, but they should be. So it's just umpires either help the pitcher or hitter, and we need to acknowledge that. And I'm happy that they're getting exposed.
So, Cheese, there have been 91 umpires behind the home plate so far this season that have called at least 550 pitches. Do you think 91 umpires seems high, low? I mean, do you think Major League Baseball should kind of cut that back? Is that too many people's opinions? What do you think about 91 umpires so far calling balls and strikes? And they've called at least 550 pitches so far this season.
The amount isn't necessarily what I'm worried about. It's the accuracy. It doesn't matter if it's 91 or 191 or 41, as long as they're getting it right. As long as we're getting rid of or just holding accountable the ones that aren't getting the calls right. You know, Angel Hernandez is long gone, thank God. They pretty much forced him out. He finally, there's a rumor he's trying to get back, but if MLB lets him back, it would be a disaster. But I think the main thing is just getting a better umpiring.
So I'm going to let you guess. I didn't put this is not in the notes. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, it is, but I didn't put the person's name in there. So whether you read them or not is inconsequential. Someone has challenged the umpires, a hitter has challenged the umpire 19 times. So far, it's the most in the league, and they've won 11. Do you want to try to guess who that is by chance?
Bryce Harper?
No. Same color for the team, but not the right team.
Wait, say pink?
So it's red. Come on.
Red. Is it someone on the Reds?
It is.
Is it Ellie De La Cruz?
No.
Sal Stewart?
Sal Stewart, yes.
Sal Stewart, okay.
Challenged 19 times with 11 of them overturned. Do you think because he's a rookie, that makes, do you think the umpires are like, oh, rookie, stop showing me up?
Yeah. Now you think about it, it makes total sense. He's a dude, man. He had 2 hits today. They went to Mets again. You know, the Reds are winning because they're playing the Mets. That helps. Yeah, look, he's got 12 homers, 34 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. I think because he's a rookie, maybe a veteran might get more calls. Someone like Mike Trout, it's Sal Stewart. So I'm happy that he is. I'm happy that Francona lets him, because it's not just about the hitter doing it. The manager has to kind of allow it. Okay, you can do this whenever you want. And clearly, if he's challenging 19 times, Terry Francona is letting him, and he has confidence in him that he's going to get it right. So I love that.
I do too. I think there's a lot of managers who probably would say, nah, rookie, not till you've been here a few years, right? So he's letting him do it. How about this? I think you'll like the answer to this. The catcher who has the highest percentage of overturned calls so far this year, he's challenged 27 times, and he's gotten 23 of them overturned. I'll give you a hint. His first initial for his first name and his first initial of his last name are the same.
Carson Kelly, no, they're CK. It is Carson Kelly?
It is Carson. I screwed that up, didn't I?
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew that Carson Kelly, I'm Braves and Cubs fan. I knew Kelly had an unbelievable,
Yeah, so it is. I thought that was interesting. Carson Kelly, 27 challenges, 23 of them overturned. So how about this? Which catcher has challenged the most times? Now, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Carson Kelly has challenged 27 times. This guy has challenged 62 times, and he's gotten 45 of them overturned. How about that? Another National League catcher, by the way.
Man.
Another National League Central catcher.
Oh, not Realmuto. National League Central catcher. Another one. Wilson Contreras.
There you go. Wilson Contreras. That's correct. And I want to get
William Contreras. Sorry, William Contreras. Wilson's on the Red Sox. Yeah, William.
Yeah. Sorry. Whichever one he is. One of those Contreras people. The one that plays for Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
So
William.
Yes. Thank you. So going back to so if the rookies are challenging and the umpires behind the dish are going, hey, stop that. The umpires have to know who's challenging more, who's challenging less, who's winning their challenges. As a team, right, we all know which umpire is going to call the inside pitch, which umpire is going to call the outside, the up, the down. We know all of those tendencies. I'm sure the teams know each and every one of them. And I'm banking all the umpires know which catchers will call and which ones won't and all of this kind of thing. So do you think with Contreras challenging the umpire, because I'm sure that's how the umpires are looking at it, oh, he's challenging me, this guy has challenged me the most, do you think that's making a difference in how they're calling balls and strikes behind the plate?
I don't know. It's a good question. I just so do you think that he might be more lenient to give him calls because of, is that what you mean by the, because
I don't want it would be the opposite.
So make him keep challenging. Make him tap his head.
It's like, you want to challenge me, boy, right?
Yeah, probably just because umpires have egos. You can tell. Well, they got rid of some of the bad ones. Joe West is gone. Angel
Everybody
Hernandez.
has an ego
But
to a certain extent.
yeah, Lance Diaz, he's got an ego for sure. CB Buckner is a piece of you know what. But
Mm.
yeah, but a lot of them they do. So yeah, it's very possible.
A couple more things here on the ABS system. I think these are pretty interesting questions here for you, Cheese. If the umpires make several mistakes in one game, do you think they feel showed up by the team? Do they call the rest of the game different? Do you think that it carries feelings into the next game or into the next series when they're at first base or they're at second or maybe the next series down the road? And lastly, are the umpires just allowed to have a bad day every once in a while?
They're not allowed to have a bad day. Their job is to be accurate. I do think it's very possible they call the next day different. I think that they sleep on it and they're pissed. But yeah. I also don't like to be showed up. So like if they're getting a lot of stuff overturned, they might start doing a little bit better job, at least that day, and then maybe the next day, maybe show them up. But we've seen how umpires react. To some calls, how arrogant they get, how they blow a call and they know they did and they don't care. So
I'm a little surprised we haven't gotten comments on this. I thought this would generate some people asking some questions, but maybe it's just because I'm the baseball junkie and not everybody else that watches this is. But so last thing, at the end of the season, Cheese, there's going to be a report that prints out that says you were the worst one, and you were the second worst one, and golly, you were awful, and no, you were good. Like there's some umpires right now who, even with this challenge system in place, have had less than 10%. There's 3 or 4 of them. So not every one of the umpires are terrible. Most of them are average. A lot of them get the calls right more often than they get it wrong. But at the end of the year, Cheese, you're going to have a few of these guys who we are all going to know are terrible. What should happen to those guys who are terrible?
Bottom 3 should be fired, period. I know it's not going to happen because they have a strong union, but it's bullshit. The MLB should fire the bottom 3 every year. And what that will do is make sure they're more accurate. It'll put them on awareness, and we'll take the best AAA umpires, the 3 best, and bring them up. And if someone retires, bring more up. That's what they should do, but they won't.
Interesting. I'm not sure if they should be fired, but I think there should be some kind of consequence.
You can't be bad at your job. How do you have work? If you're terrible at your job, in any other job, you keep messing up, you get fired. But not umpires. Umpires and meteorologists can be wrong all the time, and they keep their job. Everyone else gets fired.
Hilarious. My wife and I were talking about this a couple of days ago. The best job in the world to have is a meteorologist in Arizona, right? Oh, look, sunny again.
You can be right 40% of the time as a meteorologist, and you keep your job. You can be wrong about the forecast 24 hours in advance. You can completely get it wrong, and you still keep your job.
It is a little funny. You're 100% right. So, all right. So the last thing we're going to do here in our MLB segment, and I know you've got a few things for me in NFL, which we'll get to here in just a moment. You'll be talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and you'll be talking about some guy named Aaron Rodgers. I can't wait to get into both of those 2 things, and we'll do it here in about 5 minutes. So Batting Cleanup, of course, is sponsored by ForwardFan.com. They have a great partnership with us. You can use the code AGO, All Gloves Off, 10 at checkout, and you can get 10% more off of the World Series tickets that you can lock in right now. Let's talk about a couple of the teams that we've mentioned so far on our MLB portion of the show. So the Arizona Diamondbacks, who all of a sudden are winning. Now, before we get into this too much, they should be winning. They're playing the Rockies and the Giants and some of these lower teams. They
played Colorado four games. Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, but this is what you're supposed to do, right? Jesus, beat those teams.
Yes.
Okay, that's why the Reds started out so hot. If you look at their schedule, they were beating the teams they were supposed to, right? So the Arizona Diamondbacks, if you want to lock in that price right now for World Series tickets in the upper level of the stadium, you can do that for $35.
Oh, wow.
$35 a piece. And don't tell me they don't have a chance to go, because they're I believe 4 or 5 games over 500 right now. Winning
3 years ago they went. 3 years ago they went.
They did. So I think they have a pretty good shot. Maybe you want to lock in those $35 tickets, and you can do so at forwardfan.com. Again, use the code AGO10 for 10 more percent off of the tickets that you purchase, especially if you're going to do the Cubs, right? Because, 10% of $35 isn't a whole lot, but 10% of $290 is. So the Cubs right now are still at $290 for that upper level World Series ticket. And again, they've got a pretty good shot too. You save 10% off of that. Now you've reduced your stuff down. So now that you're watching here on the Lights Out Sports podcast, we have a great partnership with forwardfan.com. You can go to their website, use our code, and get some great tickets. Go ahead, Cheese.
Don't count out the Cardinals. They're in second place. They just keep defying the odds. And they got to be so cheap. The Cardinals have to be really cheap right now.
I don't know. I can look it up real quick. I'll look it up here in a minute. All right.
Okay. So I put you on the spot. This was not planned.
Well, I closed everything. I had it on the phone and I closed it all out. So
I was thinking a team that's just like got to be so cheap, but like would be in the playoffs right now. Like the season ended today, the Cardinals would be in the playoffs. And they once won a World Series after winning 83 games. They had a World Series champion. They barely got in. And they won it all. So you can't count the Cardinals out. They got to be super cheap right now. And they're in second place behind Milwaukee. They're ahead of the Reds. They're ahead of the Cubs.
And you're right. They are super cheap right now, Cheese. $30.
$30 for Cardinals tickets. So Cardinals
tickets to the World Series. Lock them in right now. Forwardfan.com. Use that code AGO10 to get an extra 10% off and support those people who are supporting us here on the Lights Out Sports podcast.
We're locked out of the Lights Out Sports podcast.
Calm down, okay? At least I'm not calling you Sirhan, all right? So,
okay.
We got four things basically. Batting cleanup. This is the spot to where it's not enough to where I want to have a whole bunch of questions on it, but I think it's enough to where I do want to point out some things to you, and we'll talk about it real quick. So here's our single. We're going to do single, double, triple, home run. All right, we're changing it up a little bit. So this is how we're going to start doing it. Single. Tony Gwynn hit 314 off Pedro Martinez. He hit this is in his career. He hit 390 off of Curt Schilling. He hit 415 off of Greg Maddux. Off of Kevin Brown, he hit 423, and off of John Smoltz, he hit 462. Cheese, is batting average still an old school stat that's kind of lost its validity in MLB? Or do you look at those stats from that one guy, Tony Gwynn, and be like, wow, that's too impressive to ignore?
It's lost its validity because the single means the same as a homer, but you cannot ignore what Tony Gwynn was. He was so good. Like his swing was so, it was pretty. It's just so smooth, in control. Greg Maddux pitched to contact, right? Curt Schilling pitched to contact. John Smoltz was trying to strike you out. How did he hit 462 on John Smoltz? I bet you no one was even close. Tony Gwynn was insane. I wish there were more hitters like him in baseball nowadays. I love Mark Grace style, Wade Boggs. I love that style of hitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I really did. The only thing that's close right now is Luis Ariz. And, I mean, he's your ideal number 2 guy.
Yeah, maybe Nico Hunter a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. I didn't think about Nico, but you're right. Nico does the same kind of thing. Not
the last couple of weeks, but yeah, before that.
Yeah, not necessarily a power guy, but he just finds a way to get on base.
He just doesn't strike out. That's the thing is, like, Tony Gwynn, there's one year where I think he struck out like 33 times the entire year, 630, 660 at bats. It's insane. Like,
yeah, that is insane. Absolutely right. I didn't put on the notes who I have to give somebody credit for that. I saw that up. Everything that I'm doing here right now is up on our X account as well. So you can go over to All Gloves Off SM on our X, and you'll be able to see all of those things. Cheese, while I'm doing all this, what is your X account, sir?
It is Football Cheese. So football and then CHEEZ. You can see it right here. Right there. Mm-hmm. The account on YouTube is Football with Cheese, but X didn't let me put the with in there. They said it was too long, so it's Football Cheese on X. There you go.
Kind of like your memory. It's just a little too long, right?
Apparently.
Yes. So I want to make sure I give them credit. It's baseball's greatest moments. We follow each other on X, and you can get them at BB Great Moments. So at BB Great Moments, go follow them. They're a really good follow. They put out stuff like this all the time. No, stop that. Okay. So as you can tell, I was on the phone and I forgot to turn the volume down. So that's our single, Tony Gwynn and his batting average. Our double is this. According to our guy, Brian Hoke, who covers the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge is playing, or he may have already played, I don't know if the game is done yet, in his 1,200th game tonight. He is number one in home runs by a player in 1,200 games. And second is Ralph Kiner with 327. But Aaron Judge has 385, and the second place guy, 327. There's a pretty good gap in between there. So we talked about the batting average as far as that part goes. We're going to kind of circle the wagons here for a moment, and I'm going to ask you, Cheese, home runs, how important are they to viewership of Major League Baseball? Is that what people want to see?
I mean, yeah, that is the big thing. Chicks dig the long ball. He has 385 home runs already in his career.
Yes, he does.
I mean, I know he hit like 62 one year, but that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like already.
He's only, like I said, this is his 1,200th game tonight. Whether he's, I think they're in Oakland tonight, so maybe it's not.
No,
done.
they beat Kansas City 15-1.
Oh, so he probably hit a few more.
He didn't hit a homer. I just looked it up. Well, you were asking the question. I was just curious if he hit another one. That's insane that he already has 385 home runs. If you had asked me how many homers you think he has, I probably would have said 260, 270. That's probably what I guessed. That's crazy. Yeah, that's really, really impressive. Yeah, Ralph Kiner, I would never have guessed him being second. I could have listed 1,000 people. I never would have guessed Ralph Kiner.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put that in there as well. So that's our double. So like we said, and we appreciate Brian Koch, who covers the Yankees. You can look him up as well, friend of the show, at least on X. I'm not saying he's ever been on the show like what Michael was earlier, but we follow each other, so therefore we're friends on X. That was his stat of the day today. I wanted to share it with all of you. That's our double. Here's our triple. Right-handed pitcher Craig Kimbrell, who turns 38 on Thursday, has signed a major league contract with the Tampa Bay Rays. This will be his 15th team in his Major League Baseball career. But we all know what the Rays seem to do with pitchers, yet he's been beat up the last 2 or 3 years. What are the Tampa Bay Rays going to do with Craig Kimbrell, and how successful will he be with them?
He retired 4 years ago. Like, he's just done.
Yeah.
He's not – the Rays, I mean, I know they're having an amazing season. They seem to always do things you don't expect, but come on, just like he needs to retire. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't make the Mets, who suck, who get destroyed by the Reds back-to-back games, like, no. Like, just go away, Kimbrell. Go away.
They DFA'd him earlier in the week, and then the Rays have now picked him up. So
Kimbrell hasn't been good for like 7 or 8 years.
Then I missed the Tony Gwynn picture when I was talking about Tony Gwynn. So
he got the Jerry Kohler on the 80s mustache. Nice.
Yeah.
You know, he once stole like 36 bases in a year, even though he was chubby. He was actually could steal bases too. He could do everything. Stud.
He was a stud. Absolute stud.
So good. He was so good.
All right, let's move him off. Put this
R.I.P.
banner back on, and let's go with our home run stat of the night here in Batting Cleanup, sponsored by ForwardFan.com. Remember, you can go to ForwardFan.com right now. Use the code AGO10 for 10% more off the purchase you make when you lock in your price on World Series tickets. So, Cheese, there are 4 active players who currently have 50 or more triples. Mike Trout is number 1. He has 55. He debuted in 2011. That's the key here as we get to more people. Starling Marte also has 55. He debuted in 2012. I wouldn't have put Starling Marte on this list, by the way.
I didn't know he's still playing.
Yes, he is, barely. Another guy who was barely playing, but he's still there, Andrew McCutchen, has 50 triples. He debuted in 2009. And then the fourth person, And I want to thank Alex Weiner for giving us this. You can get him at Alex J. Weiner, Weiner. You can get that off of his X account as well. And you can go over to ours and see all of these things that I'm talking about right now. So the fourth person is, you want to take a guess? 50 or more triples currently, and they're an active player.
Ozzy Albies, I don't know. Trey Turner?
No, that's a good guess, though.
Ozzy
That's
Albies.
a really good guess.
I'm trying to think guys that got some speed that have been around a while.
Well, that's the whole thing. This guy has not been around very long.
Who is it?
Corbin Carroll. He has 50 triples, and he debuted in 2022.
No.
Yes. Isn't that a crazy stat? That's why it's the home run, man.
It's not that I don't trust you. I have to look this up. There's no way.
Go ahead.
He's been in the league 4 years.
Go ahead and look it up.
Holy crap. He's led the league 3 times. Well, he won Rookie of the Year. Holy crap.
Yeah. Only 4 active people.
He's got
that
51
have 50
now.
triples.
He must have gotten a triple tonight. He's got 51, it says here.
Okay. So he's gotten one since, I believe I looked this stat up on Sunday. So he's gotten one either yesterday or today.
He's having
Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Mike Trout's not surprising, right? He's been in the league since 2011. Yeah. Sterling Marte has some speed, not real surprising. He's been in the league since 2012. Andrew McCutcheon's been here forever and a day because he's back in 2009. He has 50 triples. And then Corbin Carroll has 50. And he's 51. Only been in the league since 2022.
That's unbelievable. I mean, obviously he's fast. Obviously he hits a lot of doubles that turn into triples, but that's if he had 30, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. And I wanted to throw it out there. So I want to conclude the MLB part with this question to you, Cheese. What's the most exciting play in baseball? Watching the home run go over the fence, or watching the guy run around the bases and get the triple?
Run around basically the triple for me. Like I love. Here's what I love. I love the hit and run from first base. You know, someone gets a double. There's a play at home. Ball hits a gap in the outfield. One guy dives for it. The other guy has to back it up. There's a sac fly, but he throws a third. There's second, third. Guy tries to make it. It's close. Stuff like that. Anything that's just kind of fun, advancing on bases is what I like. We see homers all the time. So that's what I prefer. What about you?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I even love the double play on defense. I love anything like that. I don't want to say I don't want to see a home run, because that's not true, but I think the better play is when you've got an athletic freak just taking off from first or taking off from home. And these guys, the Ellies, the Corbin Carrolls, the Trey Turners, even though he's slowed down a little bit. I was trying to think. I had a guy on the Cubs that was really fast too, and I can't remember who that. Oh, PCA. PCA is really fast too. I love to see those guys, even if they track a ball down in center field, or if they crash into the wall, or they just disregard for their bodies, and they're doing all they can to win a ball game. That's the guy I want to root for.
The hit and run, it was so big when I was a kid. We don't see it anymore. It creates excitement. It puts pressure on the other team. We just don't see the hit and runs anymore. For whatever reason, that's a topic for another day. But it can create a lot of fun. Like Javi Baez was just one of the most, when he was with the Cubs, one of the most fun players I've ever watched in my entire life. He would score, he would run, he would try to steal second on a single and then score. He would just never stop. He's like, I'm almost at second anyway. And I'd never seen a player score from first on a single more than Javi Baez. And
I think I've seen Billy Hamilton do it a few more times, just because I'm the Reds guy, and he was,
Oh, sure,
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll tell this quick story. I know we're kind of running over on time a little bit because we still got a couple more football questions to get to. But I was at a Arizona Fall League game, and I was talking to this older gentleman. I got there a little late. I got there like 3 innings into it. And I was like, Dad, go on, look at Billy Hamilton, buddy. Look at those bright pink shoes. And he turns to me and his face was just as straight as an arrow. And he goes, well, you missed it. He's stolen 6 bases so far. They were red at one point. Now they're pink because he's been running so fast.
Oh man, he was so fast. If he could hit, he would have been a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been multiple guys like that. But, shoot, I just love to watch people who are athletic. No matter what position they play or what they do. Give me the athletic guy over the big, muscular, who all he can do is hit balls over the fence any day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, I like exciting plays. I like exciting plays, but pressure on defense. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I like those as well. So we are going to jump into our NFL talk. Let's do so right now. All right, buddy, I know you want to get to Aaron Rodgers, but there's something that you want to talk to me about first, and I believe it has something to do with the Arizona Cardinals. So tell me what you got, bud.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Jacoby Brissett. So he is the quarterback for the Cardinals, and he's holding out for a better contract. He is on a 2-year, just under $8 million deal. He's set to make $5.4 million with another $2 million possible in incentives. And if he starts every game, he'll probably hit most of those, if not all of it. But that is backup quarterback money. And Brissett started 14 games last season. Do you think that Brissett deserves a significant pay raise like he wants?
No. There are several reasons here for me. Number one, that's the contract you signed. Shut up. That's the first thing, right? You signed that contract. Shut your mouth, right? So are you telling me that you didn't want to start? Because that's what you're saying to me right now, right? All of a sudden I'm starting. I didn't think I was going to actually start. I thought I could just sit over here on the bench with a clipboard in my hand and come in the fourth quarter every once in a while and be good. But I was still going to earn this money. No. Isn't that what people want, Cheese? Don't they want to start? And now all of a sudden he's starting and he's crying?
I think what he's saying is, I signed for backup money. I was expected to be Kyler Murray's backup, but now I'm the starter. And his stats look pretty good, and he wants to be paid. But I think that's what he's saying. But I get it. I'm with you. You signed it. What can you do? We'll talk about that more in a second. But I definitely want to get your take on this. Okay. So what do you think of the fact that he is holding out of OTAs? I mean, would this make you more or less likely to actually talk contract with his agent, the fact that he's sitting out?
It would make me do it a lot less, not just a little, a lot. So here's the way you should do it, Jacoby. If this is what you're saying, you come into OTAs, you prove to me that you're healthy, number one. Mm-hmm. You prove to me that you've still got it, number two, and you show me you do during these OTAs and during the mini camps and all these other things. There's plenty of time to sign you to a better deal. But what you're doing right the moment is pissing me off. That's all there is to it. You're just going, hey, I'm not going out on the field till I get paid. And I'm going to tell you, when you go out on the field and prove to me that you are a starting quarterback, then I'll pay you. I would only give him a contract extension on an incentive-laden basis. That'd be the only way I'd do it. And I'll pay him handsomely if he's winning games for me, if he's doing what he's supposed to do. But again, you signed this contract, shut up and play, or get the heck out. And I would be closer to cutting him right now than I would be extending it.
You mentioned winning games. He did not have a good record last year at all. It was bad. His stats look pretty good, but
not all his fault.
Not all his fault. Some of it was in mop-up time, but yeah. And that brings us to the next point. So it's not just him there. So they signed Gardner Minshew to be the backup to Brissett. But then they drafted Carson Beck in the 3rd round out of Miami. So do you think this hurts Brissett's leverage in negotiations, the fact that they have Gardner Minshew, or could even start a rookie who has a lot of college experience?
Well, the only thing that I'll say about Gardner Minshew is they did pay him more than Jacoby Brissett's making. If you look at the contract, Gardner's making more.
Okay.
Okay, I get that. That would probably sting me a little bit if I'm Jacoby Brissett. I would at least say I need to get paid like Gardner is, but he's not mentioned that. At least not that I have heard. But if you fans, if you just look up the contracts, Gardner is making more than Jacoby is. But I floated this to Sirhan last week, and you floated it to me 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, no, there is no way. And the more and more and more I look at this, and I sit back and watch this, because on the Cardinals social medias, they're saying things like, "Oh, Carson Beck is doing so well in minicamp," and they're going, "Oh, Carson Beck is learning the playbook faster than we thought he was going to," and "Oh, Carson Beck is doing this great and he's doing that great," and then I think I'm coming around to the Cheese camp where they're going to start Carson Beck week 1, and if he does great and they're winning, they win, and if he does poor and they're not winning, and they get a really high draft pick next year, they still win. So I wasn't on board with you in the beginning when you said it, but the more and more I see and the more things I look at, I'm on your bandwagon, buddy. I might be driving it before it's all said and done.
And that kills any leverage Brissett has.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they pay him more money, there's no guarantee he's going to be the starter. Like I said, he went in as the backup last year. But yeah, my theory is they drafted Carson Beck to start him and from the get-go. And like you said, probably won't play well. And if he doesn't, we get the first pick. Let's make sure. And I looked at the Cardinals schedule before we went live. And there is no great time to start it. There's no spot 4, 5, week 6, whatever, to put him out there. Maybe an easy team. They play the Jets later in the year at home. That's way late in the year. So, we're just as well, if that's the play, just go ahead and start him week 1.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't really think about that, but that is a good point. I mean,
there's no easy game.
Usually it's coming off the bye week or something like that, and you give him an extra
a home
week to
game,
prepare.
But their home game is brutal. The first 4 home games are against like 4 of the best teams in the NFL. So
yeah.
There's no
despite
great
what Michael was saying earlier, that schedule's brutal.
It's insane. They have like 2 games, I think, versus 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. But they're both late in the year, and they have a late bye too. I mean, it's just absolutely brutal. Okay, this I want to talk to you about. A friend of mine sent me this clip because he wanted to know what I thought. I got a friend that watches the Pat McAfee show, watches every day at work, and he sends me clips all the time. It gives me ideas for a channel, but I wanted to bring this up because I think this is important. So former Cardinal center, I think he played for the Colts as well, a couple more teams. He's a 12-year veteran, A.Q. Shipley, very good center. He was on the Pat McAfee show as a guest and recently said this. He said, the Cardinals cannot win 3 games next year. You gotta improve. So my question for you, do you agree with this? To be more specific, do you agree that the Cardinals should do anything and everything they can to improve? They can't win 3 games again. They should try to win 6 or 7, which I think is their ceiling, just to show improvement. What do you think?
All right, so let's set up a little bit as far as who A.Q. Shipley is. You said it. He retired from the Cardinals a few years ago. He is now in the radio booth. He took Ron Wolfley's spot. I don't know if you know who Ron Wolfley is or not. Some of our fans might. Ron Wolfley, and anyway. But
yes,
yeah. So he took Ron Wolfley's spot doing color commentary, and he is pretty much a weekly guest of McAfee. So he's on like once a week, I think, something like that.
Okay.
And you mentioned this when you sent me over the stuff. And I might be jumping to the next spot. I don't know. Shoot me if I am here. But he's thinking more like a player, because he's only a couple years out of retirement. His mentality is still as a player, right? Players don't like to lose, despite what a lot of us think. Players want to win.
They don't care what the next draft pick is. They think about the now. Yeah.
Correct. So he is saying stuff like that as a player who just retired from the Arizona Cardinals. He's not thinking the way the front office is thinking. And this is a thing that we can talk about a little bit more if you want. This is a common clash, right? If as a content creator, okay, as a guy who does sports stuff like that, just like you do for a side job, and we hope is our living one of these days, right? We love this kind of stuff because I want to talk about what's best for the team and what's best for the longevity of the team. I, as the content creator and the fan of this team, don't really care about today. I want to look at, and some fans can't do this, but pull yourself out of the equation, sit yourself over here and go, okay, what's best for this team for the next 5 years? I want to have a good 5-year run and chance at a Super Bowl. What's the best way for me to do that? And sometimes it's to lose. Sometimes it's to tank.
Yeah. And one thing that he said, and it's just, he didn't say, I would like to see the Cardinals really improve, show improvement as a team, get to 7-10 or something like that. He said, let me pull it up here. The Cardinals cannot win 3 games like last year. You gotta improve. So he's basically saying it's a disappointing year, no matter what, if they don't win a bunch more games, if they don't improve. And I just think it's such a stupid thing to say. I mean, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's a stupid thing to say. I get what he means. You don't want to be the Jets, right? You don't want to be
close-minded. It's very close-minded, but go ahead.
Okay, I get that. You don't want to be the laughing stock of the NFL. So maybe I'll ask you this, Cheese. Do you think because they were so bad last year, is that why they don't have a primetime game this year? Is that why they have such a horrible schedule this year? Is that why the NFL seems to not care about the Arizona Cardinals whatsoever, and they never mention them on the NFL Network, or they never talk? I mean, ESPN doesn't talk about them. Nobody talks about them. Do you think that's because of how they've been over the past few years? And if so, then AQ is right. You've got to win more in order to get noticed. And you've got to win more in order to get more attention.
That's what he's thinking. But I think it's just so, okay, maybe stupid is the wrong word, but it's closed-minded. It's closed-minded. It's thinking we got to be better. I'm an former Arizona Cardinal. I'm a fan. I'm doing the radio. We have to be better. This was unacceptable, right? But here's the thing. You cannot do, when you have an organization, you have to do what's best for this year and going forward.
Correct.
And going forward. You have to think about that. You mentioned the Cardinals. They're in a situation, kind of no primetime games. Before Josh Allen, the Bills for a decade were that team. They weren't getting anything. Yep. They weren't getting anything. And then they got Josh Allen, and now they have almost every year among the top in primetime games. So the Arizona Cardinals winning 7 games would be a disaster for their future, because they're probably not going to pick in the top 7 or 8. They're not going to get one of the best quarterbacks. And one other thing you mentioned about the schedule, one of the reasons their schedule is tough is because of the division. Right. And they are playing a last place schedule, but it's 3 games. But I think one of those games is the Detroit Lions, because the Lions finished last. So it really, it's a bad luck schedule. The other 3 teams made the division. The top 2 teams in the NFC were both in the division, and they have to play the Lions next year. So, okay. No need to read
this. I left this comment up here because I want to talk to William for a second. William,
okay.
I'm not perfect over here. I get some things wrong every once in a while, and I don't care if you guys correct me. Now, I'll let Cheese speak for himself, but, I was the one that said he just retired from the Cardinals and all of that kind of stuff. You're correcting me. I appreciate the fact that you're going to correct me, because there's probably a lot of other people out there who are saying, no, stupid, you're wrong. They just don't have enough guts to type it and put it in a comment. So thank you for correcting me. I'm okay with it, buddy. Whenever you want to correct me, go ahead and do so.
But I'm glad he brought that up, because that's what AQ Shipley's thinking. Like, he just won a Super Bowl. He's thinking, well, why not try to win as many games as possible? Like, why would you lose? Like, that's his mentality. But I just didn't like how close-minded he was, and he said the Cardinals cannot win 3 games again. Yes, they can if it sets them up for the future. You cannot win without a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 12, because Sam Darnold and Jalen Hurts, okay. But they had unbelievable rosters besides it. You have to have the quarterback, and the Cardinals don't have a quarterback on the roster that you could say is probably going to win them a Super Bowl. And if they win 7, 8 games or whatever, they're not going to win 8 games, but with the schedule. But if you do that and you don't pick that high, it could hurt you for the future. So I was surprised by that clip. I definitely wanted to bring it up with you. Well, he's an offensive lineman, so
That's funny. Best comment of the show right there. That was funny. That's funny stuff right there, buddy. Good job, William. Hey, so speaking of quarterbacks and a team that doesn't have a quarterback, Cheese, I know you've got a strong opinion on this. You put out a video earlier today on this that I watched the majority of. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I watched the whole thing because I've been trying to watch it while I was doing the stuff for this show and stuff too. But no, and I just want to be honest, man. There's no need for me to lie about it, but I think our fans should go over.
It's only 10 minutes. It's not a lot.
Man, I tried. Okay, I listened to about 7.5 of it. I really did.
You were so close.
I was, and then Michael came on, and I was like, okay, well, I need to talk to our guests, and I stopped it, but I got the majority of it. I know what you're saying. This is going to be a fun segment right here, or a fun part to this segment, as far as what you think about the Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, plug your stuff. Where can we see your video at, bud?
Yes. So Football with Cheese spelled like Cheese It, Football with Cheese on YouTube, Football Cheese on X. Yes. So I am doing for the next 2 months. I'm about a little past a quarter of the way done. I'm doing the top 5 off-season moves for every team. I'm doing a division each week. That'll get me through June because tough to find NFL content. So make sure you go to my channel. But today I want to do something a little different. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, which we're going to talk about right now.
Okay.
You ready?
I am, buddy. Well, go ahead.
So Aaron Rodgers is back. He's going to play for the Steelers, be their quarterback this year. I was not surprised. I think we all expected it. You weren't surprised, correct? You expected it?
No, I expected it, but I won't comment anymore because I know you're going to lead into some other stuff. But yes, right. I did expect him to come back.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much did. He also announced this his last season, so this will be it for him. Like you said, I made it.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
I don't trust him, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, he could take it back, absolutely. Yeah. But I just want to get your take on his quote. So he was talking about last season, and he said, and I quote, "I think we were close last year." So do you agree with Aaron that the Steelers last year were close?
Aaron needs to stop going to his retreats and getting wacky weed and stuff from them. And he needs to stop showing up at the Pittsburgh training camp on his cute little unicorn that poops cupcakes and where he's living in his fantasy world. No. The Steelers were not close. The Steelers were the best team in a bad division that just beat up each other and had a ton of injuries on some of the other teams in that division. I don't want to say they got lucky because I'm not real sure if luck was a part of it, but they weren't close. Nobody said, oh, well, the Steelers have got a chance. Nope. Everybody just said, oh, well, okay, well, the Steelers won that division and here they are, and now they're about to get eliminated. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you can go to my channel to see more of it. I'm not going to regurgitate it, but yeah, you saw what happened and they got in the postseason. They were not a team that was built to win 4 games in a row. That's what you have to do, and you're going to face the best teams. They weren't a team, and I just don't think they were close at all. I think they're better this year, but I was surprised when he said that. Well, what do you think this year? Do you think they are a contender to make the Super Bowl this upcoming season?
No, I'm very happy that Aaron Rodgers is back. And in fact, if I were the Steelers, and we're going to show this comment up here from William again. He says, Steelers are irrelevant last year, and I've been a Steelers fan since the mid-'70s. I'm sorry, William. McCarthy will
That's true.
Worse than Rodgers, yeah.
Oh, McCarthy's terrible, but that's a whole topic for another day. We'll talk about that probably during the season.
So if I were the Steelers, here's what I would have done. I would have done what I think the Arizona Cardinals were going to do, especially what you keep saying. And it's kind of good that we're putting these two teams and we're talking about them back to back here. I think the Arizona Cardinals are getting ready to start Carson Beck. They're going to say, okay, let's see what we got. If he wins, great. We're winning. We have a better quarterback than what we thought. And if he loses, okay, he was pretty much what we thought he was. And he'll lose all kinds of games for us. We'll blame him, and then we'll go get another quarterback in the draft that'll be a whole lot better than him. If I were Pittsburgh, I would have done the same thing, but with Will Howard. I would have put Will Howard behind center and said, hey, we're close, and we just need a great quarterback, and I think Will Howard can be that guy. And we would have got behind Will Howard, and then if he can't do it, even though I love him, he's the Ohio State alum. You know, the best college football in the world is Ohio State football, in my opinion, but that's what I would have done had I have been the front office of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wouldn't have even have asked if Aaron Rodgers can come back. I wouldn't have accepted it if Aaron Rodgers says, I will be back. I don't think there's that much difference between the two of them, and I want to see what I've got in the young kid before I go drafting somebody else. And as a Bengals fan, I am extremely happy that Aaron Rodgers is back because I hope we sack the crap out of him because he can't move anymore. And I don't think it's going to take too many hits, and then we're going to see Will Howard anyway.
It's almost like, I'm going to get Williams' take on this. It's almost like the Steelers we're the Steelers. We always compete for Super Bowls. So we're not going to purposely retool or rebuild. We're not going to put a quarterback out there that puts a situation where we win 5 or 6 games or less. We are going to go for it. We are going to tell our fans that we're competing for a Super Bowl. And I think it's hurt their future. I think in the video I talk about it, I don't think they ever should have signed Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, I think they should have gone with Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. Mm-hmm. Not been good. Pick higher. Maybe trade down, get future picks. I think they hurt long term, and they still don't have a franchise quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger has been gone for 4 or 5 years at least, and they're still stuck without a long-term solution at quarterback. And one thing you mentioned Joe Burrow. What happens if the Bengals don't go 2-14 in 2019? Guess what? They don't have Joe Burrow. If they had signed an Aaron Rodgers type of veteran and won 7 games, what are the Bengals now? What are they? We don't know. I mean, who knows? They could have been bad another year but still, they wouldn't have had Joe Burrow is the point. You know, sometimes it's okay to not be great, to have a couple years where you kind of stink. Not the Browns-Jets situation, but
right. And you don't want to be a laughing stock.
Yeah, you don't want to be a laughing stock, but sometimes it's okay to just be bad. Like you think the Titans regret, getting Cam Ward and being terrible that year? Heck no. So, yeah, you pretty much answered my next one. But I'll just ask real quick. So you think that they should never have signed Rodgers? They should have just retooled after Kenny Pickett and just tried to pick higher? Do you think they should have done that?
Well, I don't know about right after. I would have probably, in the situation that they were in, they did the best with what they had. They went and they said, you know what, we're going to take the Pittsburgh kid. We'll try him out and see what happens. I didn't have a problem with them getting Kenny Pickett, but after they realized that Kenny Pickett wasn't the answer, they should have moved on faster.
Yeah. Do you know Kenny Pickett in 2 years, he threw more than one touchdown in a game one time? Like there's some bad quarterbacks that can come in a fourth quarter and throw 2 touchdowns. He did it once in his entire career.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
Now William, are you saying Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback here?
Yeah. So maybe the Bengals and Ravens. Oh, that's another thing. The Bengals and Ravens both should be better this year. Both of them had down years. Both of them underachieved. So they both should be much better. And Mike McCarthy's a downgrade from Mike Tomlin. So I get why the Steelers signed Rodgers. I get why they brought him back. But, and I said this in my video, everything would have to go perfectly. The defense would have to stay healthy. They collapsed last year. TJ Watt would have to return to TJ Watt. The offensive line lost Sayamolo. Um, the offensive line, and they just you have a rookie, Ian Otter. He would have to play well. Jeremy Bernard, another rookie. Like, there's so many things that would have to go right. Rodgers would have to have no decline whatsoever, maybe improve, for them to even be a contender. There's other things too. And so I just don't see this ending well for the Steelers this year.
I don't either. And I'll make this prediction right now. Ian Otter will mean more to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year than Aaron Rodgers will.
It's possible. They still don't have their best weapon after the catch is Jeremy Bernard, who has not played snap. He's a second-round pick rookie. They don't have anyone else, tight ends or receivers, that are good after the catch. And that's where Rodgers is so good at his pinpoint accuracy, putting the ball in their hands while they're running the routes. And they don't have the receivers that can do that.
Yeah, but can he still do that? Can he even still do that? That's the other question.
Maybe not. He still has the arm, but he can't create. That's one thing about Rodgers. One thing, he cannot move and create with his legs anymore. He can't do. There's so many great plays when he was in Green Bay where he extended the play, and then Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb would get open and he make that play. He cannot do that anymore. He's got to get rid of it. So,
he's got to have a line to protect him, and they don't have one.
They don't. Broderick Jones was an absolute bust 3 years ago at left tackle.
And that's what Williams said in this comment there. We'll pull it back up. He says they have no real O-line. Yes, William, I agree with you. They really don't. I know they think they do because, as you've already said, Cheese, they do give me the impression, the mentality of we are the Steelers, and we compete for Super Bowls every year, and it's like, okay, and all of you ride in on your little unicorns with poop cupcakes and whatever. You're living in a fantasy land, people, and I think a lot of their fans are too, and it's going to come crashing down this year, I think.
Well, every time they play the Bengals and Ravens, that's 4 games, they have the worst quarterback by significantly. So already, so they have to overcome that. They go in the playoffs. If they play the Patriots, Drake May, they have the worst quarterback. Bengals, Ravens, Bills, they have the worst quarterback. So,
they would have the worst quarterback ever if Shedeur Sanders wasn't in the same division as they are.
Yeah, but it's just they have to overcome that. And we saw the defense was – I lost Mike. The defense collapsed last year. And that was the thing. They thought, if we just get a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over, we'll be fine, because we have a great defense. And the defense just fell off a cliff. And to have any chance to be a contender, the defense has to be right back to where it was. And I just don't see that happening. I still think it'll be better. I like the secondary a lot this year. The front seven has to stay healthy, but it's not a top 5 defense anymore. So we have lost Mike. It's okay. Hopefully he did not lose electricity. But hopefully we get him back in a second. But that is the last question I do have for him. We're not doing a lights out list tonight because the show has gone pretty long. But we will come back next week, and we will do the lights out top 10 list. So look out for that. Hopefully we get Mike back here in a second to conclude the show. If not, thanks for watching. We had a great guest, Michael from Arizona State. Talked a lot of Arizona State prospects. They had 2 first-round picks this past year. They had 4 in the top 5 rounds. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good baseball talk, and we got to talk Aaron Rodgers. He's say what you want. There's always something going on with him. For something, there's always something going on with him. Hopefully, we get Mike back here in a second. He has not texted me. Hopefully he didn't get in a tornado and he's not in Kansas anymore, or not in Arizona anymore. Hopefully not. But make sure you go to Football with Cheese. You can see it on the screen on YouTube. Made a video all about Aaron Rodgers. I expanded on it, went over every possible, basically everything. My feeling that they should never have signed him in the first place and done a 2-year retool. So make sure you check it out. And I'm once again doing the 5 biggest offseason moves for every team throughout May and June. So check that out. Mike, where are you? Let's see if I got a message from him. I do not. Okay. Well, is what it is.